welcome to Bad Science Sunday. I'm Maya. This is Bandy. This is Doctor, and we are doing Bad Science Sunday, and we're dunking on bags of dicks. But
You all know what that means.
Hey, Doctor Dan, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm thrilled to be back.
Andy, oh goodness. Okay, we got I do want to say thank you to Skeptic Haven who just threw with a raid. Thank you, everybody. We are just introduced you're right on time. We are just introducing Dr. Dan. Dr. Dan, what's the elevator pitch?
Hi, I'm an evolutionary biologist. In my real life, I teach lots of college students about biology. In my internet life, I have a YouTube channel called Creation Myths where I dunk on creationists. I talk about why they're wrong about everything they say, all the time. It's just always wrong. And so I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to explain the science behind why they're wrong in a way that you could understand if you are not a biologist. That's what I do at my channel, Creation Myths.
And I love having you on because, as everyone knows, we like to take a lighthearted approach to debunking science misinformation on the internet. So you're a great compliment. And today I thought, since we have Dr. Dan, Rolling Dogs, we're going to try our hand at AIG. And we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, it's you've had an interesting, oh God. Was that AIG or was that a different place that you got to retract?
So let's see. Recently was Discovery Institute. I've never gotten
Discovery
Was it
Institute.
AIG.
Casey Luskin?
It was Casey Luskin. Yeah.
I've seen Erica's recent videos. I haven't watched yet.
Oh yeah.
I know. Yeah.
It's been a whole saga with Dr. Casey Luskin. So I actually got him. I'm a two-timer with him. I got him twice to edit and append a correction to a blog post, an article that he wrote, because he was pulling. Can we swear? We can swear on this channel,
You
right?
can
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was pulling some bullshit. Like he
Right.
was. So the previous one is where he sentences from three parts of a scientific paper, put them together in a block quote to make it look like it was one contiguous quote. And then I was like, "Hey, buddy, those three different one line was from the abstract, and then another line was from the intro, and then another line was like way down the paper."
Oh
And
my
so we
God.
put it all together. So that was last year, and I called him on that. And then this year, the big thing, and if you've seen Erica's long videos on this, you've seen the punchline, is that he took a figure and he just cut the whole bottom half off the figure,
Oh yeah.
but he took the x-axis and put it on there. So he didn't just crop it, he edited it to just get rid of the data that he didn't want to show.
Yeah.
And the data he showed completely undermined the argument he was making. Like,
It was
straight up.
It was basically like it was a figure with subfigures like A, B, and C or something, and he like took out B or something like that.
It had like 10 rows, and he showed like the top 6 and cut out the bottom 4. And it was comparisons of genome similarity. And he was like, look at these two. It's 13.8. That's way too high. But then one of the ones he cut out, and it was like humans to chimps. And then one of the ones he cut out was just the same measure, just within gorillas.
Yeah.
And it was 13.3. And it's like,
that's bad.
that's the same, dude. Like, you can't make a big stink out of one number and pretend the other number doesn't. Like, come on. So yeah, and then he had to now I'm going to show the full figure, and he had this long thing of excuses. And I did not back on just calling him a liar for that. Like, he just straight up lied. Like, he hid data and he got caught. And yeah, screw that guy.
And so what did you do? Like, how did you get him to retract it?
I made a video of I caught him. Here he is. He's hiding data. And the best part is, in one of his earlier articles, he said, because the data in question appeared in the supplementals of the paper, which is like all the extra stuff that the author published, instead of the actual text of the paper itself. And he very clearly insinuated that they were deliberately hiding the data because they were
which is nonsense. That's complete nonsense.
If you wanted to hide it, how about just not publish it?
You wouldn't put it there. Yeah, you would not publish it at all. The supplemental is it was like the more detailed stuff, because you've got most papers, most journals have like
A limit.
a limit on how long the actual text can be. They don't really tend to have a lot of the supplemental material, or it's much larger, and you get to use tinier fonts, and
Yeah.
it's
So
just
you
throw
get
it all
you'll
in the
have
supplemental.
you'll have like 3 or 4 or 5 figures in a paper, and then you might
Yeah,
have 20 additional figures and tables in the supplements, right? Like you'll just throw
yeah.
everything there. If you have like sequence, you just throw the raw sequences in the supplemental. Like
Hmm.
here they are, right? So he said one. I'm gonna get the quote a little bit off, but I'll be pretty close. It was like it was buried in the supplementals or hidden. And then he takes that table or that figure that he says was buried or hidden and slices off half the data and shows it
Which is hiding.
with no indication that he edited it at all, which is literally hiding data. So yeah, and then afterwards he made the
And the
things
thing,
like some critics.
I
it,
don't even
it
understand why they go through all this hoop jumping. Everybody, like their audience isn't reading this stuff.
some of them like some of them probably will read it,
Some,
but
like Peter and one other
like
person.
Peter, yeah, Peter. I was thinking just about Peter.
If you don't know who Peter is, folks, I'm assuming we
We
mean New
love,
Creation Peter.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah,
only Yek we've ever had on the show. He was on for my birthday stream 2 years
yeah,
ago.
yeah. He's in
So
he's in like the Todd Wood school of creationism, which is like we accept science broadly and we're just going to live with the cognitive dissonance of the two things not
yeah,
calculating, which you know what? Okay, that's better than
yeah,
AIG. Like that's
right,
better than most. There's a
Yeah.
reason that most people hold Todd Wood and Peter in much higher regard than any other creationists, right?
I
absolutely.
Yeah.
don't
What would
understand
you get?
creation at all. Science and religion can live in harmony. I
Yeah,
just,
it's
I
fine.
don't get it.
It's fine.
And if you just accept, I mean, like, and I understand I have a bunch of people in the chat who think that, oh, we need to, take down all religion. But if we could just get to the point where we're not defunding science, I would be so much happier.
Yeah. It's not the thing with creationism specifically is that the
Mhm.
science doesn't matter. It's not about the creationism,
Right.
just, the culture war, the Christian nationalism, it's this
Mhm.
fire of in-groups and out-groups, right? It's not
Yeah.
actually like AIG, Ken Ham doesn't care about the science. He
No.
pays Nathaniel
No,
Jeanson to write sciencey sounding books. He doesn't care
Mhm.
what's in the books, right? Do they
it's
sound sciencey? Can I point to them? Yeah, cool, great. Like that's just all part of the culture war. It doesn't actually matter.
oh Jesus.
God. But for $5.12, the Sinister Porpoise says creationists can never prove that DNA is turning complete. When I ask them, all I want is a mathematical proof.
That's a
Let
Is
good
that
us
so,
question.
is
let
that
us
so much
know
to
when you
ask for?
find it. We would love to see mathematical proof of
I would be pretty sure that it would be
what
DNA. I feel like definitely could. Being Turing complete is
mathematically
not.
prove creationism.
No, no. That DNA is like a Turing complete in encoding, for lack of a better word. I bet you could, because it has being Turing complete means that you can like simulate any given Turing machine. It doesn't matter. Sorry, I'll get
I'll
something
let
wrong
you.
and she'll
I'll
yell
let
at
you
me.
and Sinister. I'll let you and Sinister duke it out. She'll be on the show before the year is over. But really quick, I do want to thank Left-Handed Jedi for giving us 5 new cult members,
Cultist. Oh,
and those went to DJ Megan Satanis, Hill Hugger, Sophia, Ian Chen Official, a friend of the show, and
And
Coconuts.
what's up, Ian?
oh, you were mentioning, or we were discussing our favorite debates with Kent. And I gotta say,
Oh,
my favorite are definitely Ian's.
Ian's are
Oh,
amazing. Ian's are another level, and I just want to shout out the time that I think he set the Nephilim-free
Yep.
rage quit record. I think it was under 3 minutes he made the Nephilim-free
Yeah,
rage
it was
quit. It
like,
was amazing.
it was
yeah.
very fast.
Him and I can't stand Kent. He's just oh God, like such a bigot.
Oh,
Um,
he's the worst.
yeah, I got through maybe half of his second debate with Hovind before I was just like, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't. But I did love like the soft digs.
So good.
And he's just,
Soft.
Yeah, right.
They're pretty hard. They're
I,
pretty straightforward.
but I think that, and I was kind of surprised that Kent picked up on it. I think if you were on the spectrum, like it could have gone, a lot of them could have gone over your head.
Yeah, but potentially.
No, yeah, Kent picked up on them.
I
That's good.
don't
And,
think Ken makes a lot
of
of things.
course,
I don't think.
Donnie picked up on them
Donnie
real
picked up
Yeah.
on
quickly.
them. Yeah,
And,
there
he
was the
was,
one there was the one where Donnie chastised Ian to
And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Given the job of a moderator, like Donnie was correct to do that because
correct.
No,
Ian
yeah, yeah.
won making
Yeah.
fun of him, but like
yeah,
I
no,
still was totally here for it.
yeah,
Totally correct to do that, but also
yeah.
Ian was totally correct to go after Kent as hard as because Kent deserves everything.
Yeah. He was breaking the rules, but
No, and
Kent deserved
I
it.
don't know if anybody caught Mark Reed's stream last night, but it's really making me appreciate decent moderators. Just saying.
Oh boy, I know.
Yeah. Uh,
Well,
Dr. T, what
well,
do we have in
before we
store for
get
everyone today?
Fresh hell are you subjecting me to tonight?
before we get to the main video, I did want to very briefly cover this topic.
Oh my God.
So
I knew you-
Why are you pissing him off at the beginning of the show?
Well, am I not allowed to inquire about the nature of organelles in our body? Okay, could you just read the words on the screen right now?
I just want to say I did not approve
Powerhouse
this.
of the cell, mitochondria.
There we
Ban
go.
you now?
Oh, there we go.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You made me say the words, so I'm just going to warn you straight up. Next time we talk, I don't know if it's going to be on Bad Science Sunday or some other show. Next time, we're going to stop whatever we're doing. I'm going to tell you about the powerhouse of the cell. I'm going to tell you how it works. We're going to follow those electrons and show how you generate. We're going to do it.
Adenosine something phosphate. I don't know. Did I get it right?
We're about to watch AIG. I have to start with my blood pressure low, okay?
But
All right. So
real quick, Regios has given us
20
cult member. Holy shit!
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar, dollar.
Thank you, Regios. And that went to Beck N.A., Scott Duke, Rachel. Fits of Galapagos Islands are the Holy Land Rage. Alex Raven, Tyler Dowdy, Michelle Ferguson, Hung for sure. Old Tom
Tom Bombadil.
Old Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, is a Mary Fellow. B.S. Lewis, friend of the show. Wilson M. Farron Salas, Sarah Kell, TK, Geosam, Millie, Jillian Palmfoot Wren, friend of the show. Dr. Kip Davis, friend of the show. And Don Giovanni, Emir of Hagen. Oh, wait. Mark Reed, friend of the show. And Dilacaleon Anarcho-Dapitalist Kennedy. All right. All right. Welcome, new cult members. Please enjoy your tapioca weasels, your vaginas, and your nitties. Regios, you absolute boss. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say two things? Can I say
Yes.
two things right there that make me very happy? One, if anyone hasn't seen it, you should totally Google Tom Bombadil Beastie Boys. If you haven't seen that,
Oh, I have not.
oh, it's short. It's like a tweet length thing. It might have originally been a tweet. But you'll get if you know the Beastie Boys, and you know Lord of the Rings, you'll get the joke. And it's fantastic. And the second thing is the Dapitalist in there. I just want to it warmed my heart that there are at least 2 Dapper Dinosaur inside joke usernames floating around that originated from a show on my channel at some point.
Nice.
So
That
makes me
is
seeing Dapitalist
awesome.
in the wild makes me very happy. That's fantastic.
All right. So the actual video that we are responding to is the title of the video is "The Surprising Truth About Velociraptors You've Been Lied To." And I don't think we've lied so far today, but you will get lied to because we're covering an AIG video. And this is, of course, from AIG, Answers and Generous, who have a cool 842,000 subscribers. I want to die.
Always be punching up. Always be punching up, folks.
That's the story of my life. That and filling up. I'm good at that, too. But this video from... Oh, this is fairly recent. This is only exactly 1 month ago, right?
And it's
June 20th.
100,000 views. God help us.
It's got 100,000 views in the last
1 month.
And that, honestly, I normally I'd be like, insulting them for, having bad conversion. That's not terrible.
That's
pretty good.
It's
really good.
It's pretty good.
And even if it was horrible, it's 100,000 people in 1 month.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. But we're going to get lied to. We're going to be surprised. And what we're not going to do is probably learn the truth about velociraptors unless Dan knows a lot about velociraptors and can tell us the truth. Because everything I know about velociraptors... Okay, that's not true. Everything I know about velociraptors from Dapper Dino. But everything I pretend to know comes from... Jurassic Park, which is a point they're going to make and be somewhat not
I will tell you, here's something I do know about velociraptors. The velociraptors in Jurassic Park, by which I assume you mean the original, the good one. The original. Series.
Yeah.
Those velociraptors were way too big.
Way too big.
Way too big. I do know that velociraptors. They're like waist high, not giant.
Yeah. Anyway,
You could be like, maybe they're Utah Raptors, but even that, they're not quite right. But it's, actual velociraptors are not that big.
Dr. Dan is amazing. Thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. Let's get the show on the road.
Not a velociraptor.
A new Jurassic...
So for the record, all of that was just shown was AIG using copyrighted material. They weren't doing commentary or criticism, even though it was short. They weren't doing anything fair use. The only reason they get away with it is because it was short.
Yeah.
What was that from?
It was probably from several different things. I assume from some of the Jurassic Park
movies. Yeah, that's
movies. I didn't recognize any of them individually.
Raptors. I hope you don't get your just
Oh, sorry. I skipped too much. But yeah, like...
A new Jurassic World movie just came out. It has a new cast.
So this is presumably from the new Jurassic World movie. And
new dinosaurs.
Maybe we could skip up a little bit to where he's...
This is from the original, though.
That's from the original. I recognize that. That's after
that's when the kids are like hiding in the kitchen thing.
Oh, you're right.
That was oh my god. That was
It's a great scene. It's a great movie.
But like high suspense, like like you're saying, terrifying.
I still remember the first time I saw that movie. Terrifying.
Suspenseful moments. One of the most suspenseful moments in movies, for me at least.
Yeah, because the kid's like looking under the thing, and then like they like throw something across the other side so they can like get out the.
Because you're just suspicious because it's right there. And I think a lot of films, especially horror films, like once you see the guy, you're just kind of wondering how they're going to get away. Like this is I think the suspense minimizes somewhat. But it heightened in this scene, so that was
yeah.
So good. Oh,
the Jurassic movie Raptors have an unexpected origin story, and we're going to do a more scientific reconstruction of what Velociraptor probably looked like, and I think you'll be shocked by the results. We've all seen raptors.
It's really interesting that he says they're going to do a more like scientific thing because he'll talk about how he's
the last like 5 minutes of the video so scientific. Sorry.
Well, where it's like he talks about how he draws dinosaurs and things like that, and um, how it's just like making I don't know. I think we talked about this the last time you were on, Dr. Dan, where it's like they don't really explain science. Everything is just shitting on science.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have to affirmatively generate anything. They can just poo-poo the evolution model, and that's taken to be good enough.
I've never heard somebody articulate their desire to do that as clearly as Sal Cordova. I've heard him say this multiple times. He's like, I wish I didn't have to spend time like making a positive case for something. I wish I could just spend all my time dunking on evolution. And I'm like, saying the quiet part, my guy.
That's his shtick. Yep.
They're big, they're smart, they're terrifying. They've got that big claw on their foot.
That scene right there, when they're looking under. Oh, so
Why do you
good.
think they look like that? Was that look based on science, or was that just movie magic? I'm a huge Jurassic movie fan.
It's a little bit of both, right?
That was mostly just like drama. That wasn't really.
Like
he's saying, what are they based on? And I think at that time,
at that time, the like fossil things that paleontologists would be like, oh, that's a velociraptor. None of them were this big.
right?
Right.
There were other dinosaurs, I believe, in the raptor group.
Utah raptors are really big.
Yeah,
But
everybody knew velociraptors, so they just called them velociraptors.
It's so everyone knew at the time.
Yeah.
They said that we have this thing called Velociraptor that's 2 meters long, which is to say nose to tail is 2 meters. But they were like, let's make them 2 meters tall, right? Because that's more cinematic than like really angry turkeys running at, right?
Yeah.
Angry turkeys are really
angry turkey will
intimidating.
mess you up, but like it's less terrifying than a 2 meter tall, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Terrifying. They've got that big claw on their foot. But why do you think they look like that? Was that look based on science, or was that just movie magic? I'm a huge Jurassic movie fan. I was 11 when the first movie
a little
came out.
past this because he's just like talking about like his movies.
The problem is that there aren't like like chapters in the thing, so I don't know exactly where to go.
Again, it's AIG. I don't want to get channel struck, so I don't want to let him talk too long. So when he's just describing
you're gonna get channel struck. It's AIG. They're a bag of dicks.
Sure, but like I have to make a credible, like effort to. So if we're just like watching him watch a movie, like I don't know how to say that that's fair use.
Well, so here's he's saying, so Velociraptor quickly became my favorite.
So I started researching
became my favorite dinosaur. So we started researching. Now he's talking about him.
Digging in, learning as much as I could, and that's when I found my first big surprise. Velociraptor was about the size of a big turkey. So why did they
that's
what I just
you're
said.
saying.
There we go.
Yeah.
What did I just say? Angry turkeys, not as scary. It's a movie meant to be. It's basically a monster horror movie. Why are we like getting mad about the monsters not being accurate? It's a horror movie essentially. It's a monster movie.
No. Okay, is it a horror movie or is it basically a peer-reviewed pre-publication of with dinosaurs though?
It's on Arvix. You're right. It's right. It's you're right. Sorry.
dig in the movies?
We are going to crush your hopes and dreams.
You're gonna crush your hopes and dreams.
Yeah. I don't remember this bit.
This is creationists, please stop trying to like do cutesy mimi stuff. Just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Hydraulic press. They are citing the channel though. Great channel, by the way. You know. Just saying.
Well, if you look at the book that Michael Crichton wrote and published in 1990, Jurassic Park, the original book, it says this about raptors. Although
I've never read the book.
It's fantastic.
I can imagine.
Deinonychus is now considered one of the Velociraptors. Where did Michael Crichton get that information from? It wasn't this
Who
book.
cares? It's a work of fiction, dude. Who cares? It's literally a work of science fiction, and this man is complaining like we're supposed to read The Expanse and like care about look at the orbital whatever, right? It's a work of science fiction. Who cares?
You know, I haven't actually read or watched The Expanse yet. I would be willing to bet that they at least spent some effort to get the
They do.
orbital dynamics right.
I will say they actually do a really good job with the orbital mechanics, and specifically with G-forces, the way the ships work with acceleration and deceleration
nice, yeah.
is they hand wave they have this thing called the Epstein
Oh.
drive, and they hand wave it actually works, but there's a really awesome short story about it. Anyway, they hand wave how the actual propulsion works, but in terms of the orbital mechanics and the G-forces and acceleration and deceleration, they do a really good job.
Nice. Yeah. I know. So one of my favorite like science fiction movies is The Martian. Also one of my favorite science fiction books. And The Martian,
Love it.
everything in that like film is like scientifically accurate except for the impetus event that causes the whole problem. Like that storm would not have been an issue. But other than that, the thing that they had to make the conflict for the story, everything else is correct.
I love how off topic we are, but it's okay. Have either of you seen the XKCD comic about the Martian? About
How the hell did that get turned into a big budget blockbuster with Matt Damon?
Do you remember the scene in Apollo 13 where they have to fit this into this using this stuff? The Martian is the movie for people who wanted Apollo 13 for that to be the whole movie.
Yes, and it's great because he science the shit out of it.
Oh my God. I wanted to yell at you, but the chat is loving that movie.
Oh,
The Martian is cool. And also, we have to appreciate that the opening line of The Martian is one of the greatest opening lines of any book ever.
What is it?
What is the opening line? I don't remember the
The
opening
opening
line.
line is, "I'm fucked."
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
It's actually this other book. This book by Greg Paul is what Crichton used in his research for Jurassic Park. In
So
it,
are you familiar with that? I know
I am
we
not.
did use.
I have no idea what this man is talking about. And here's the thing. Who cares? We're talking about what we knew about dinosaurs in the early 90s or late 80s or whatever. Who cares what we knew about dinosaurs in the 80s and early 90s?
So he's about to
Creationists.
talk about the
matter?
the skeleton in about 10 seconds here.
Cool.
by Greg Paul is what Crichton used in his research for Jurassic Park. In it, Paul has skeletal drawings of a Velociraptor antirhopus, but that species doesn't exist. Paul
Okay. Sure.
was saying that Deinonychus and Velociraptor are so
Familiar with any of these? I don't know. I know you're an evolutionary biologist, but and I'm sure you haven't studied every single animal. And
I am not familiar with any of these species, but you know what I am familiar with? AIG's
Science?
bullshit.
Yeah, that too.
I'm very familiar with that. And he's like, look, here's the... I mean, this is basically the same thing they do with the Haeckel embryo drawings, right? Like, look, here's a thing they were wrong about. Stupid evolutionists being
But
wrong.
the thing is, it's so funny because it's a movie. It's not even like what he's saying that this evolved into anything else. It's just, hey, here's a monster movie.
Now he's not complaining about the movie. Now he's complaining about an illustration book that was used as a guide for the
35 years ago?
Yeah, but
Who
I mean,
cares?
I mean, it's just, you know, when I don't know if you keep talking about movies. I don't know if either of you saw Jordan Peele's movie. Oh my God, I forget what it was, but it was about like everybody thought it was like an alien movie, and I think it was actually supposed to be a living thing, and it was in the shape of a UFO, and they were talking about UFO is in the shape of an alien spacecraft. It was actually a UFO because it would have been probably a cryptid or an unknown species. Nope. Thank you. It was Nope. And
I haven't
oh
seen
man,
that.
so
they were
if I
talking
had answered
Somebody was
accurately,
doing
if I had heard the movie, I would have gotten that correct.
yeah, so
I would've
when I
said
was
Nope.
looking at, I like watching like the behind the scenes, like how they made it, and when they were because everybody kept calling it an alien, and I'm like, it just doesn't. I hang out with too many biologists, and I'm like, the way this thing is acting, it seems like a creature more than like how do you get this thing through space, you know? So I'm just like,
Well-
okay, so what was his thing? And so when
Science fiction. That's how you get through
Yeah,
space.
well, when his the things that he took inspiration from were actually sea creatures, and
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe's dress, which I thought was super cool, which isn't a sea creature but was used in the making of the monster, well, as inspiration for the making of the monster. So I'm like, you can draw any, and nobody's saying the monster is real, so you can draw inspiration from anything.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's like so worked up. Like, why? Hey, a guy wrote a book. There and the book, he got details in the book wrong. Therefore, evolution is not true. It just seems a little spurious to me.
Yeah, especially because 2025 and we're criticizing our scientific knowledge in the late 80s, early 90s. Okay.
Based
Like, I don't care.
on a book of illustrations that inspired the Jurassic Park. We are so many degrees of freedom
Starting
from.
point for this is Jurassic Park got Velociraptors wrong in 1994 or whatever.
Yeah, if we make one more leap of logic, we're going to run straight into bacon. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, oh, God.
Didn't exist. Paul was saying that Deinonychus and Velociraptor are so similar that they should be part of the same genus. Here's the original Deinonychus drawing by Robert Backer, published with John Ostrom's paper on Deinonychus. But it's still not as big as the raptors from Jurassic Park. What's the deal? Well, in 1991,
I mean, the deal is that they made it bigger, so that would have been way less awesome if they were normal, like actual sized. Okay.
Dinosaur awesome. That's it. That's the logic. Like, who cares?
Also, fundamentally, you might be like, okay, well, if Utah Raptor was actually that size, why didn't they use Utah Raptor? Because Velociraptor sounds way cooler.
It sounds awesome.
It's way more badass.
Also, I'm just going to take this opportunity to plug one of my favorite book series right now, which is Dungeon Crawler Carl. Book 5 is right there. The rest are over there. And I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just going to say relevant. Velociraptor, relevant. And if you know, you know. It's great books. Fantastic.
Okay, and for $6.66, Hell's Bells says, Maya, you are amazing. Mwah. Hashtag fuck the weasels.
She didn't say that. That wasn't in the message. That hashtag.
What? No, okay. It was totally in there. I saw it. All right, moving on.
Discovered a really big raptor claw, and they used that to justify the size of the raptors. 2 years later, in '93, it was named Utah Raptor. But all they found was a claw, a couple of skull bones, a couple of tail bones, and none of them were connected, so we really don't know what Utah Raptor actually looked like. By 2000...
Right, time out, because this I actually can comment on this just a little bit, and I'm as far from an expert in this specific thing as you can get and still be able to comment on it a little bit. But if you look at the things they highlighted in there, it's like a little bit of the bone, it's a little bit of the skull, and you can see like the radius of the curve around the nose. And the thing is, and you get the radius of the openings in the skull around the eye, and then I don't know what that more anterior opening in the skull is called, but I'm sure Dapper Dinosaur knows what that opening is called. But whatever. The thing is, you get the radius of those curves, and you get the length of the vertebrae that you see in the text right there. Those proportions are relevant to each other, right? So even with just a few components, you can figure out the scale of the overall organism. So he's like, oh, we classified Utah Raptor based on very few whatever. Well, based on the size of the things that we have and the more complete skeletons we have, proportionally, you can infer the rest of the size of the skeleton. Now, since then, we found a bunch of additional specimens, right? So, like, Utah Raptor is not based on, like, 5 bones, right? We found more stuff. But the initial estimates are fine because it's not just about what you find, it's about the proportions of what you find to each other and how they relate to similar things that you've found, right? You find something that's this size with this radius, you find something with the similar morphology but a different radius, you can scale it proportionally.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And here we've got, we've got skull, which is going to be highly diagnostic of exactly like I think like which species it is.
And
too.
you've got the orbital, you've got the part of the orbital socket there is really important, right? you've got good stuff based on what
and you've got this leg bone and whatnot that give you a totally different part sort of the animal. I will say like if you just have the large talon, that is going to be difficult to kind of work with if you don't have anything else, because like imagine if you found a fossil in Madagascar in 10 million years of like are they in Madagascar? Are they over a slow loris? So that's what I'm talking about. The thing with those crazy long middle finger that like goes in and like can get stuff. If you only found that one finger of that primate, you'd be like, well, this thing must have been 18 feet tall.
Maybe it's a bat. It flies with its phalanges, right? Like,
Yeah, it looks more like a bat, exactly, than it does a primate. But these are different, and vertebrae are I don't know.
Morphology of the vertebrae are different depending on where you are in the body. The fact that it doesn't have the ventral projection tells you it's in the tail, right? And that allows you to scale proportionally with other vertebrae in that same column. Yeah. Like, you can learn a lot from the bones here, and this is coming from who is a dum-dum with bones.
Well, hold on. I mean, if you say that, what does that make us, okay?
Look, we're all in the same boat here, okay? None of us are skeleton people.
Well, not in that way.
Skull bones, a couple of tail bones. And
Real quick.
Fair point.
For $2, O&B, spoiled bone pits and parsimonious charlatans, says, mitochondria is the powerhouse of the soul.
Okay, hold on. No.
You made me suffer, now you have to suffer. Nope, that's called karma.
Okay, yeah, but
Nope.
But
that's the chat on my side, dude. Chat.
Well, they didn't finish the word, so it's probably fine. Yeah.
Thank you.
I feel like the soul bit. Like, what's your position on the soul, Maya?
Chat, you know what to do.
Oh yeah, the soul totally exists, and that's how you like connect to other things. We explained this a couple of weeks ago when Mark was here, and we also saw the soul stations on the moon. So if you didn't have a soul, why would those be there?
They'd be there.
Yeah. See, yeah, it's obvious.
I don't know.
So we really don't know what Utahraptor actually looked like. By 2002, Greg Paul published Dinosaurs of the Air, and in it, he had a drawing of Deinonychus anterhopus. So the scientific community had not accepted renaming Deinonychus as Velociraptor. He recognized that in his book, but it was too late. The movie had already come out, and everybody had seen the Jurassic Park raptors as Velociraptor.
Or wait, do you have any knowledge of this?
I don't care. Like, what's his point?
Right.
What is the point that is being
Oh,
made?
no, okay. We all know the point, right?
No,
Evolutionists got it wrong. Therefore,
this is an important thing, though. AIG's argument here is we learned new things, therefore science bad.
Why is science?
Like, what? Yeah, we learn new stuff, therefore science bad. What? AIG, what are we doing? Like, I really feel like AIG is just lazy. Because they're just gonna, whatever it is, they're just gonna be like, science bad. Hey, look, we learned new things about dinosaurs. Science bad. I'm sorry. I thought learning things was good.
No,
I guess I misunderstood.
you get to learn what we tell you and nothing else. And that's how we get to a theocratic ethno-state.
That's how you do it.
For $2, Jester says, that's not how you get back at Magnet Weasel. I don't
know, man. I think chat's on my side.
I have power of the band hammer, and I can't use it because mine won't let me. But
no,
I can
Jester's
still
a friend of the show. You can't ban friends of the show. Are you nuts?
Watch me.
Only
ban. Titan is Titan here. I gotta ban somebody.
God damn
really
it!
quick.
Look, I gotta unmod somebody. Say something in the chat, Weasel.
If I actually like time out Titan for 5 minutes.
Like, no,
please,
I'm serious. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
That's
I'm
fine.
gonna go rogue for 5 minutes and kick you out of the mod group.
If you want someone to
I'm
ban,
fucking with people.
Can I
Magnets.
ban you?
don't ban
Try.
me.
Go try.
Can I ban? Oh, hold on. I can log in with an alt and ban
All
them.
right, can you press the play button first, though?
That depends on what the mitochondria are.
Leading up to the first Jurassic World movie, years later, the franchise came under fire because they didn't have feathers on their raptors.
Remember Jurassic Park? Those guys were silly. They wanted to see dinosaurs. Just go outside. They're birds now.
That's true. That's fact. That's the only accurate statement in this video so far, I think.
Well, but they're mad about it. You know this.
AIG is all in on dinosaurs didn't have feathers. They're all in on
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
really
Like
bad.
they are pissed off about this. Like,
Are
like,
you saying
now
they're joining
all of a
the?
sudden dinosaurs have feathers?
Are you saying that they're joining the bandwagon? Does anybody get that joke?
All right, all
Birds
right.
are not dinosaurs.
You know what? Here's all that attention you ordered.
Okay.
Attention. I really appreciate the attention.
They added some new raptors to the storyline, and one of them had feathers. This one was called Pyroraptor. There was one problem. No,
Oh,
Pyroraptor was
Could it breathe fire?
That would be awesome. I hope so.
I would only name something Pyroraptor if I thought it could breathe fire, right?
That would be cool, though.
It would be fucking awesome. I think I just came up with the premise for a movie.
was actually tiny. It was about the size of a chicken. And the only bones they found were just a few bones, an arm bone, a tail bone.
Don't care. I do not.
Well, they found teeth. Teeth are highly diagnostic.
I don't know why AIG thinks anyone cares that a movie got details of some specific species wrong. Who cares? This is the level that they can't even find a paper about these dinosaurs to critique, because if they had a paper where they were like, this dinosaur blah 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 blah, blah, right, they would go after the real paper.
Oh, yeah.
They don't have one.
No, yeah. Apparently,
just-
the movie is a science book.
Yeah, they have to complain about the movie.
I think they think the movie was real or something. I don't know.
Answers in Genesis under Ken Ham, folks.
And for $5, Brilliant says, answers in gaslighting.
A couple of toe bones. And these bones weren't even articulated. They weren't connected when they were found. And there were no feather impressions. So they only assumed that this animal had feathers.
Yo, if it was well enough preserved to have feather impressions, you'd have more fucking bones.
Yeah.
Can't you?
I'm guessing.
Assumed?
Yeah, it wasn't an
video
assumption. We
called,
actually found wings. Am I right?
They found the famous ones they find are the arm bones that have the feather and the barbs on them. Yeah, those are the really famous ones. And the fact that AIG is just that's not a dinosaur. It's we literally have most of the skeleton. It's got all the diagnostic criteria, and clearly those are feathers.
Well, yeah, but what are the diagnostic criterion? Okay, scientists just made them up to Kent Hovind and Ken Ham.
Yeah. This inventing words.
Feathers. All four raptors
That's what all of them are.
I've mentioned so far. Velociraptor, Deinonychus, Utah raptor, Pyroraptor. None of them are found with feathers on the fossils.
I don't have any feather.
I this is one of the cases. This is one of the cases where it is funny. You're right. Sorry. Where I feel like that's probably factually wrong. On at least one case, because that's.
Well, they said,
but it may not be.
They don't have feathers on the. Play that little bit again, because the wording is very particular.
So they only assumed that this animal had feathers. All four raptors I've mentioned so far, Velociraptor, Deinonychus, Utah raptor, Pyroraptor, none of them are found with feathers on the fossils.
Okay, pause right there. Archaeopteryx isn't found with feathers on the fossil. Found with impressions of feathers and barbs on the bones indicating the connection points for the veins of feathers. Literally none of them are found with feathers on the fossils.
Yeah, yes, I will say, I feel like that's not the argument that he's trying to go with. Is that it wasn't
least honest.
You're right. Okay, but
tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I'll assume the least
not-
honest information from AIG.
We'll call it that's fair. I guess.
That's-
I mean, I like when I deal with people like of the AIG ilk, it's going to be like an argument like Jason Lyle. And I gotta say, he's on the better half of the AIG crew. Yes, he is so bad. I stand by the. He is on the better half of the AIG crew.
You're not wrong. You're not one-way speed of light.
On the better half, this is a subtle point where the reason he's right is the reason he's fundamentally wrong. Okay, because his argument is that you can't distinguish between the one-way and two-way speed of light. He is correct technically on that. He technically on that. But his point is then that he uses that to distinguish between theories, which if you can't distinguish, then how are you distinguishing?
We should just assume, because you can't distinguish, we should just assume that the speed of light is different depending on the direction relative to the observer, and that makes a 6,000-year-old universe work. That's what we should assume.
But I don't think it does make a 6,000-year-old universe work, though.
Lyle says it does.
Well, yeah, Jason Lyle thinks that the universe is 6,000 years old, so, I don't...
Which is, yes.
Like, from physics, unless... What I don't assume that that's what the evidence suggests, because if you're living in a world where God could have made it and made it look old, then you're not going to have evidence that it's young. Scientific evidence, if he made it look old, if he made the universe without evidence that the universe is old, you're not going to have evidence that the universe is old.
You're giving him so much more credit than he deserves. He's just making shit up.
It's my job on the show, and it pisses Maya off so much.
I'm so happy it pisses you off too.
He's just making shit up to make the math work, because we know how long it would take the light to get from the stars, and he's got to make something up to make it work. He's just making things up. It's your model of how this works is so much more comprehensive than his model of how this works.
No, yeah,
he doesn't really have a model, so.
No, and I second this statement. Like, he's acting like Jurassic Park was a documentary.
Well, hold up. Are you saying it wasn't?
I am.
Okay, I thought it was like Interstellar or Apollo 13, in that it was completely 100% based on the actual facts. Apollo 13 is like mostly like based on them and stuff. They took a few liberties, but
movies are not facts, kids. We're just going to remind the audience of that.
It is so, like, yeah.
Apollo 13 was very good.
It was very good.
Don't have any feathers.
So why do we see them with feathers so often? Well, here's a fossil of a small raptor called Microraptor.
I mean, I see the feathers under my charitable interpretation of what he means by feathers.
Those are impressions. Those aren't actual feathers.
You're right, but they're evidence. Like, these are all. These aren't the actual bones, right? Bones aren't made out of.
AIG has to call this thing a bird. That's how strong the evidence of feathers is, right?
Yeah,
It was found with feathers on its forelimbs. Very strong feather impressions with quills and barbs. They're arranged in a wing pattern. This is a larger raptor called Genuine Long, and it too was found.
This kind of looks like a dog. Well, now that you've shaded in a bunch of stuff that I didn't think was obvious, hold on.
And barbs, they're arranged in a wing pattern. This is a larger.
Okay, actually now that you pointed out, it's more obvious.
Yeah. It's like a snow angel, right?
Yeah. They should have done an outline thing. With dotted outline so that you can still see the anyway, sorry.
Raptor called Genuine Long, and it too was found with large wing feathers on its arms.
I feel like its ribs got messed up here, though.
They're all broken.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I'm not. You're the medical professor, but I don't think ribs should be in multiple pieces like that. I'm pretty sure those bones should not be broken.
Yeah, I'm not clinical, but I'm pretty sure that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I feel very comfortable saying that.
These feet look kind of. I mean, maybe it's just the arch. But
it's dead, right? I mean, it's cool. We can move on.
It's dead, and it's.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you It's got a 1% chance of getting up and recovering.
We've been going for 50 minutes and we're 4 minutes into
Here's
this.
a specimen of Archaeopteryx, a very famous fossil bird that was found without feathers. So it's not uncommon to find fossil birds without feathers. So why do people put feathers
Wait,
on
go
raptors?
back.
So it's not uncommon.
It's not
to find
uncommon to find fossil birds without feathers.
Literally has
Dude,
feathers.
why?
It literally looks exactly the same. That's Archaeopteryx right there. That's the famous fossil of Archaeopteryx, a bird that was found without feathers. It literally has the same feather impressions on the wings and the tail.
I don't think I've seen more obvious, clear feather impressions. Like these are phenomenal.
Those are feathers. That's the whole thing.
He said it. So no, you said it. Those are feathers. You see, you did the same. You did the same. Boom. You see, and this is therefore the young Earth creationist is right, and the Earth is young.
Look, gentlemen, are you going to believe your lying eyes, or what we tell you to think?
I'm gonna believe what you tell me to think, Maya.
Well, whatever
because you are my goddess.
Whoever Canham says.
Look, how are we going to have this white ethno state if you're like looking into the science? Like, God.
You do that.
Why do people put feathers on
if you allow bad science into the science category, you can do whatever you want.
raptors?
And people have.
You've probably seen diagrams like this one from New Scientist in 2014.
I don't think that all looks like they're all chasing this poor motherfucker, and I feel like I haven't seen diagrams like that.
Microraptor's about to get eaten.
Yeah, right? This guy's just observing, and him too, but these two are going, oh yeah.
Or this one from National Geographic in 98. Or this one by Scientific American in 20.
I mean, this looks probably like vaguely informative and probably representative of the knowledge of the time.
Yeah, it's from Scientific American.
What point is he trying to make?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say evolution is false.
That's probably right.
Oh, I think. I don't know. I mean,
Nothing.
I think he does have a point.
Hold up. You see, now Maya's doing it.
His evidence is bullshit, but I think he is trying to make a point. Just saying.
Let's see what it is.
And on that diagram, you can see that raptors, or dromaeosaurs as they're called, they're in the middle, just like the other diagrams. Now 2017 is a little bit older, but this chart is more recent from a 2023 paper, and it follows the same pattern. It has
Okay, so the important part of the pattern for the record here is not the ordering vertically, it's the hierarchical pattern that leads to the ordering vertically, but just knowing the order here does not tell you how closely you're related. Like, if you look down here, this and this are close to each other, but they're very further apart compared to this one versus this one.
Yeah, the way to think of a phylogenetic tree, for anyone who is not familiar with reading phylogenetic trees, is like those kids' mobiles that they hang over cribs, where it's like the two arms and then that and it kind of spins around. That's phylogenies work. And what matters is what's connected to what, not which things are spatially closer to each other visually, right? Because you can rotate around the nodes, the branch points, and it stays the same. So you can take the
that's a good point.
You could take the ornithoromorpha, and you could put you could rotate that whole branch and put
whole branch could rotate over to here, or it could rotate about any of these axes, any of them.
Yeah, all the way to the bottom, so that you put what is that, Fujian Venator? You could put that next to Truodontidae. You could like that whole bottom branch, you could flip 180 degrees.
Yep.
It would show the exact same relationship, right? Like,
yeah, and you could have it alternate. Like the way this is shown, they separate out like one, and then it goes to a terminal branch. They probably went. And also, just because they're not giving more details, unless it says it's terminated, every one of these could probably be its whole own branch.
It's all relative when you're looking at it. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But like here, apparently it went extinct fairly directly for.
Good luck.
Well,
with that
fuck.
One. Yeah, that one.
Raptor?
Pterigidae?
I don't fucking know. I'm pretty sure it's a species of fish.
Whatever that is. I don't know.
Has raptors right in the
Whoa,
middle.
wait a
of
minute,
the
wait a
theropod
minute.
dinosaurs.
For $2.22, my unfinished journey says, "Hail debunkers, hail answers in magnetology." Thank you, my unfinished journey.
I want to die.
The evolutionary term for these is non-avian dinosaurs. The raptors are right between those dinosaurs and birds. An issue with these diagrams that
See, I will say this claim, when he said this is what we call non-avian dinosaurs, I thought he was talking about a very specific, like, tiny branch of a thing.
Except for the birds, are non-avian dinosaurs. But
Yeah, I'm like, are Compsognathus and or Nithomimosaur and Tyrannosaurs are these not?
Those are non-avian dinosaurs. Yeah, totally. And so it was like Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
it has raptors right in the middle of the theropod dinosaurs. The evolutionary term for these is non-avian dinosaurs. The raptors are right
What is the antecedent of these? It didn't seem to be a well-defined sentence.
It wasn't well-defined.
between those dinosaurs and birds. But there's an issue with these diagrams that nobody talks about. In this chart,
I'll bet that I've seen videos where people like you talk about it.
blue bars.
But he does. Also, the way
what-
he's drawn is giving me, like, just the way those nodes are drawn is just, like, makes my brain hurt, because that's not how you're supposed to draw these. Like, learn how to draw a phylogenetic tree.
Are they supposed to, like, go down and then branch symmetrically?
Normally you do, like, branch, node, and then you'd have the from there. So it's uncommon to have just a straight line with another one and then another one like that. It's not conventional the way they're doing it. And unconventional, I've never seen anyone do it that way.
Rock layers the fossils are found in for the different groups of animals. Deeper, older rock layers are on the left. Newer and younger rock layers are on the right. According to the story of evolution, animals close to the top are more primitive. Those close to the bottom are more advanced. Near the top, we have
so those words are carrying a lot of baggage that is unfair and, like, invalid. Like, a jellyfish that's around today is just as evolved as you or I are.
It has the same amount of time since the common ancestor with us as we do, right?
And more generations.
And more generations. And morphologically, right, it has more ancestral traits as opposed to more derived traits, which is newer traits. But that's not the same thing as primitive, right? That's the fact. That's just for anyone who, like, doesn't do this stuff, like, daily. Like, the words primitive and advanced when you're talking about phylogenetics, giant red flags. Who's ever saying that, just, like, they're wrong. Like, huge red flag.
It's not the vernacular of the field, like, at all.
Ancestral and derived, right? Ancestral. And these are relative, they're not absolutes, but if you're looking at a group of organisms, ancestral refers to a trait that predates that group, right? And derived is a trait that is new within that group.
Well, I've also heard basal. Is basal?
Basal, right. So when you're looking at a larger group, right, and, like, that first branch, that's the basal lineage.
Oh, because it's the one that forms the base.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that where it comes from, probably? Yeah.
And then typically we characterize the traits of that basal lineage as the ancestral traits, and we might call them the basal traits, right? Yeah. In that case, you're using the word basal interchangeably with ancestral. Okay. But again, it's highly context specific.
And for $5, Jester says, "Fun fact: Jurassic Park is about chaos theory, not dinosaurs. Hence, Malcolm being there at all."
The book makes that very clear. Yeah.
All right.
Chaos.
Okay.
I've got to read the book. Damn.
avian dinosaurs like Allosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, Compsognathus. Here's the raptors, or dromaeosaurs, along with some other groups that we find with feathers, the oviraptors and the troodontids. From an evolutionist perspective, so far so good. You have the more primitive animals up into the...
What is the point that he is making right now?
Let's find out. Because I'm so curious.
The left, and the more advanced animals down in...
I don't know what he's going for.
I don't even understand. Like, he's not... the overall like structure of the argument is very unclear to me. He's like, because right now the way he's presenting data is like he's giving supporting arguments to a thing that he's already argued, but he
hasn't made like
he hasn't
here's
like
a thesis.
actually
Right. Normally you would go like, here's a thesis, here's the thing I'm going to support, and here's information that supports my thesis. And he's like, here's a bunch of information, and we're like, great, dude, but what are we trying to do here?
And
Yeah, I don't know.
I will say, like, this is my second time watching through the video. I still have this question. So
You're expecting answers to make like a well-structured scientific argument?
you know,
Hope springs
I'm a
eternal.
hopeful person. Yeah.
Right. So based on this evolutionary progression, we'd expect to find birds down and to the right, more advanced in more recent rock layers. But where do we find the birds? Birds are found way back in the Jurassic.
All right. So
Okay, I see what he's doing. He's saying that X couldn't have come from Y because X predates Y. But here's the thing. You can't date the lineages by the most recent things. You date the lineages by the earlier things, and in particular, by the nodes, the branch points on the tree. That's where the lineage is split. And creationists love to play this game of like, it appeared suddenly, we have no ancestral thing to it. But like, if you look at like Archaeopteryx right there, we definitely have stuff that goes back further. Now, it may not be a member of the Dromaeosaurids, for example, right? But you're going to have something that goes back further that's an intermediate state in there.
I've heard of Anchiorus. Bombinornis? I feel like I haven't heard of that, but if it just turned into...
Archaeopteryx, Anchiornis, a very modern-looking bird, Baminornis, was just discovered earlier this year. It's a problem that these birds show up way before their supposed ancestors. It kind of makes you wonder if the
I wish I was hiding a hickey. Okay, I've been hickey-less for nobody wants to hear about this.
evolutionary story you've been taught is actually based on the evidence.
I made it up. All of it.
It's such a problem that some scientists are flipping this around and saying that they're
Yeah, no, that's what Darwin looked like.
Yeah. When he was making up everything.
Well, I guess that's not.
Okay.
Well, that would be yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, didn't you hear what he said about the eye? How preposterous it seems.
Oh yeah.
And against everything.
It counts
Clearly.
bingo if one of us says it, right? There you go. That's
Right? And like if you just stop there and don't worry about what reason tells him, then you're fine.
Read literally the next sentence.
I think you have to go 2.
Oh, maybe it's 2.
Like there's like an interim sentence that's like less relevant, but yeah.
You get the idea.
I've never read Origin of Species. I can tell you that quote is from the second page of the 6th chapter of the first edition. And when I know that, like, the apologetic doesn't go for your side the way you think it does.
Right.
All of it.
It's such a problem that some scientists are flipping this around and saying that the raptors actually evolved from and are just birds themselves. One of these scientists is Dr. Alan Fiducia, who has written numerous books, scientific peer-reviewed papers.
You know, he's written numerous books, okay? Unlike other people who have been on the show, like Dr. Kip, who has written no books.
A PhD dissertation is a book, okay? Like, let's be clear.
Well, he's also actually written other books, but he's been called out by people as so because he's written no books. That it's
It's a thing.
Have you written a book other than that? Wait, so if they count, then that means that my book counts. I wrote a book. It's over
Oh my
here.
God. Did he?
I have it.
How do we get here?
Why did
bound.
you get this leather bound? I never want to look at mine again. Mine is loose,
Seriously.
sitting in a folder in my basement over there because I'm sitting in my basement right now.
I'm
By the
very
way,
proud of
it's
this.
blue because my kids were playing with food coloring earlier today. Just have my dissertation.
Yeah. Okay. We're really excited that both of you did a thing,
On this
doctors.
topic. In 2015, Dr. Darren Naish claimed that
Well, maybe I wrote a much more captivating thesis than you.
I'm sure you did. You probably did.
young Deinonychus might be able to fly.
I believe I can fly.
And paleo artists have been represented.
Oh God. funny. I'll give him that.
It's
Illustration of Deinonychus that well-known paleo artist Emily Willoughby did in 2014. Here's one that another paleo artist, John Con.
By the way, there's a lot of time spent in this video on this is what a paleo artist did, therefore...
Ask me how much I care.
Conway created back in 2010. This idea that raptors look like birds is not a new idea. If this were true, that raptors evolved from birds, then the story of evolution has an even bigger problem. What did the birds evolve from? Where are the transitions?
That's a problem?
They're
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they have to be. I don't know. Lizards can't be birds. Is that what the argument is?
What is the argument? If they evolved from things that weren't birds, why are they now birds? Like, is that the argument? Because
I think he's. I'm going to try to steelman this one. I think he's saying.
Good luck.
Right? If the dinosaurs if the non-avian dinosaurs that are most similar to modern birds are descended from ancestral birds rather than being the sister group to the birds, where are the fossil intermediates of the modern birds?
Okay, now that you articulated their question, I think fairly well, the answer is they're in an alternate universe where premise is true, whereas in the world that we exist in, it's a sister group, so you don't have that.
If this thing that most people think is wrong is actually right, then how does that change your understanding of reality? Well, it changes it. It makes reality different.
Yeah, different and potentially very interesting and useful to ruminate upon, like the ways in which it would be different, what you would expect. Because if you come up with alternate ideas to your hypothesis, and all of them predict the same stuff that you were really impressed with yourself for coming up as predictions of your original hypothesis, then you realize that those predictions and those tests actually aren't just useful in determining the differences between them. But I don't think they do experiments.
Yeah, no, they do not.
The non-avian dinosaurs and the birds. Hold that thought and we'll come back to it. At this point you might be saying, are you trying to tell me that some scientists say that raptors look like birds? Raptors don't look like birds. Look, I totally get it. When I was a kid, Velociraptor was my favorite dinosaur.
You bred raptors.
They were big, they were smart, they were scary. So when I found out that Velociraptor might be a little turkey bird, I had to research it myself. I was trying to save my...
Now we're back to science fiction movie is wrong. And ask me how much I care. It's science fiction movie. It's a movie. It's made up. I don't care.
Yeah, but this is how... I'm sorry, did you not even go to graduate school? All of my courses were just a list of 5 movies I had to watch.
Well, apparently I went to the wrong graduate school because that sounds awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
Damn.
Favorite dinosaur. So let me show you what I found.
Also, they give you leather-bound...
Gave it to you?
No, they didn't give it to you. No, they absolutely did not. My mom had to buy 6 of them from the printer, and they cost $100 each or something. So
we're gonna look at actual fossils.
That monstrosity ever again.
Don't point out that Maya's muted. It's a lot funnier when we can ignore her.
Fossil materials, not sculpted props.
Look, I mean, you're only being rude to Ian Chen.
A movie film set.
Can you please? Okay. Can I just? Ian would like to say something, please. Thank you. Huh?
Until you unmuted, I'm doing 8 things at the same time, and most of them are ignoring you. So.
No, yeah. Look, you're ignoring Ian Chen, who has given us money. God damn. So for $7.99 in Aussie bucks, Ian says, I need help for an assignment. Maya, can you tell me more about a device that generates high volts using electrostatic principles? Appreciate it. And this is what you wanted to ignore, doctor.
I was trying to do you a favor, okay?
No, you weren't. You were being an asshole, you lying motherfucker.
I was being unobservant.
I'll be over here while mom and dad are fighting. I'll be over here. Be over here.
Look what you've done, okay? I have to take him to school tomorrow and try to explain to him why mom and dad still love each other very, very much, and you're here completely poisoning the relationship. You know what? I went too far there. You go to your room, and we'll talk about...
The play button.
He's gone.
The play button. The goddamn play button.
Green.
Oh,
Dig
it's so
into what
bad.
was excavated from the actual rocks. The first thing I found was 2 skeletal drawings of Velociraptor, one by Scott Hartman from 2013, the other from Greg Paul in 2001. And
Okay, how many times have drawings been introduced as like evidence? This may be proper. I don't know. Like depending.
Velociraptor, one by Scott Hartman. From
Like if
2013.
this is a scientific figure and this looks like a...
But how much of this video is this dude complaining that a movie is inaccurate? I don't give a shit if the Jurassic Park movies got the morphology of velociraptors wrong. That is nothing, AIG, that has nothing to do with the evolutionary history of anything, because it's a made-up movie based on a science fiction novel from like the early 90s. I don't know when the book was written, but the movie was...
I think the mid-80s or something.
Maybe mid to late 80s. Yeah, like, it's 2025.
I think.
And this video was from a month ago. So, like, they're complaining about a series of movies based on a novel that's almost 40 years old. It's science fiction. I don't care.
Well, I
The
mean,
most recent one came out like last year.
Yeah, but it's all built to
the
that.
movie. Okay, in fairness, though, the movie is newer than most of their sources.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
For $5, Jester says, the argument is easy, guys. You don't know everything perfectly, therefore God.
Yeah, but I do, though.
Science changes, therefore God.
So does Maya. Maya's a
Man's
goddess.
word or God's word? Checkmate, atheists.
13, the other from Greg Paul in 2001. And next I found a 3D model of a Velociraptor skeleton. I lined up the 3D skeleton against the skeletal drawings to make sure it matched and was accurate. Now let's jump back to those
I don't know.
real fossils. In 1971, they found an amazingly preserved, articulated skeleton of Velociraptor in Mongolia. This fossil is amazing. It's called
Mongoliensis.
Yo, this is probably one of the most badass fossils of all time.
It's really cool.
Like this individual fossil is one of the most fucking amazing like fossil finds ever.
Why?
called the
Because
fighting dinosaur.
like there's so much of it, or
Well, look at it. One, it's super three-dimensional. Two, of what I'm gonna let him do the sentence because he gives a factual description of the thing.
articulated
Okay, real quick,
skeleton of Velociraptor in
Oh, sorry.
I do want to thank Mark Reed for coming through with 10 Aussie bucks. And Mark says, thank you so much, Maya, Dr. Tapioca Weasel, Dr. Dan, and the BSS community. I really appreciate you all being here. Yeah, and Mark, you owe me, like, I feel like Mark owes me after having to mod a 7-hour Nazi stream last night.
Jesus Christ! Hold on, we're gonna have to talk about that after the show. You didn't
I'm gonna have to
tell me it was 7 hours. Where the hell was that? Because I was at Neil's.
It was still going after Neil's. It was still going after everything. I think when did it end? Like 3 or 4 a.m. for me.
Okay, well, if you didn't, you could have asked me for backup, but you didn't, so it couldn't have been that bad.
Well, I had Aunt Jera there, so it's girl power. But she's a goddamn beast.
I want to see the rest of this fossil. This looks cool.
Okay, I am sorry.
Mongolia.
Sorry,
This fossil
this
is
is
amazing. It's called the Fighting Dinosaurs because it's a Velociraptor and a Protoceratops locked in an epic battle. But for animals fighting to be preserved like this, they would have to be buried rapidly. Well, I'm
No, we're up to the
fossil
flood.
is
Here we are.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're at the flood, but literally these are. So I think what happened. I've heard Dapper talk about this before. I think what happened is they were fighting, and there was a landslide that covered them both while they were fighting.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so you have these two animals that are locked in combat and get buried. What are the odds. And look at how well this is preserved. It's a three-dimensional thing. It hasn't gotten like squishified, because so often you see like the bones sort of like squished into like a pretty small layer. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it really is.
Amazing. It's called the Fighting Dinosaurs because it's a Velociraptor and a Protoceratops locked in an epic battle. But for animals fighting to be preserved like this, they would have to be buried rapidly. Well, I'm a Christian, so I believe the Bible's history. And the Bible's history gives me a key that helps me understand this fossil better. These animals would have to be buried rapidly in the global flood.
Yeah, why would they be fighting in the context of oncoming floodwaters? Animals are not going to be fighting in that way. They're going to be fighting if it's like just, normal, everything else is chilling, and they bump up against a cliff and then suddenly a bunch of fucking rocks fell. Rocks fell, everyone died. That's what happened.
Also, it's highly unlikely that they would be fighting like that as the crust is being converted to plasma by all the heat that involves in the global flood.
Right.
Yep.
Highly unlikely.
Now, guys, clearly they just all lined up in order, all at once. Everything all at once.
All the ferns stayed at the bottom, and all the seed plants walked up the hill to avoid the flood.
Yeah, all the plants walked uphill.
And the angiosperms kept walking while the gymnosperms stopped, right?
Yep.
And the angiosperms kept going. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But all the flora and fauna just totally stayed in place for, because so that the animals would have something to eat when they got off the boat. And absolutely none of them ate other.
And the wolves had the rabbits to eat, and then, oops, there goes the rabbit kind. Because there were only two of them.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I feel like rabbits somehow would break the rules. So even if you had only like half of one, they'd still reproduce, which doesn't make sense. No. Is it borne out by the data? Like, possibly a little bit, okay?
Okay. Bad example.
It makes sense of that story. We find many fossils showing rapid burial like this one, from another angle. Unfortunately, this fossil has never been...
Look at how well preserved that is.
That is beautiful. I mean,
that's the same.
Beautiful.
Like, in this, so that is a different photo of the same fossil from another angle, if we can believe what he's saying. Which, let's just do it for the point of this.
Sure. Let's
this. Oh man, it's not an multiple 5 seconds.
This fossil is
we're gonna be here.
So what we just saw was a zoom in of this part.
Okay.
So we've got this one, which is less impressive on this image, is less impressive than the zoom in. God damn it, where is it?
There.
Of that side.
Yeah, that's
so
really
cool. Now we're seeing that thing that was like the less impressive half of this fossil from a better angle, where you get a way better view of like the three-dimensionality of it. This is such a cool fossil. And they're
really cool.
Butchering
also,
it.
they keep breaking out the rapid burial as though like landslides and mudslides and things don't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. That stuff happens. If it was actually as rapid and as global as they said, we should not just be finding bajillions more well-preserved dinosaur fossils. We should also be able to isolate DNA from all of them.
Yes. Also, it should be literally the norm in a given area. If you have such reliable, good conditions that just whatever kind of happens there all gets rapidly buried, there should be areas where you have you could chronologically track over the hours how the animals ran. Like you could probably find a pack that got hit by a local thing where it got bad and a bunch of them got buried, and then a quarter mile later following a bunch of tracks which are also well buried because
we are now doing the thing that we were doing before, where we are trying to make the models make more sense than they are, because again, they don't care. They do not care.
No, I mean, it's just the natural conclusion of what their model would entail. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't know how they think it would make sense, and maybe that's why they don't talk about their side.
They just have to
because they can't make their side make sense. And
just have to.
These are doctors. They know this.
It's almost
Yeah.
like it's not like about the science and constructing a coherent model to explain data. It's more just like a
Exactly.
signifier of in-group, out-group loyalty, almost like some arbitrary bright piece of clothing, like hypothetically, if they were to all wear red hats or something to
Or
signify
white ones.
membership in and outside of the group. Right? It's all the
Or
same.
or or white ones, or red and white ones on their sleeve or something.
Hypothetically. Yeah.
Hypothetically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
Scientific literature. So I
And
was
for
reading
$2,
Want it, yeah.
Sorry.
Jester says AIG is a bag of dicks. Oh, I'm
Hey,
sorry.
that's not what he said.
AIG is a playlist full of weasels. Oops, wrong show. Not necessarily.
Not gonna lie, like that. I feel attacked.
They're just coming
really
at you
excited
tonight.
to find
Oh yeah, I deserve that.
this 3D scan of the fossil. Thanks to
Oh my
security for
God,
uploading
look at
this
this.
to Sketchfab. It's not super detailed, but most importantly,
It's not. It's pretty detailed, man. Okay, like, I'm gonna.
Man, it's not super detailed. You can only see all the bones.
You know, I
I
mean,
take. I.
you know, it's so funny that they bitch about Lucy because there's not enough bones, and they bitch about this because what? There's too many. Like
There's
it's
too many
just
bones.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's no satisfying them.
I. Oh.
it gives me the basic proportions in three-dimensional space. So I've taken this 3D skeleton, overlaid it on the fossil, scanned to make sure we get the proportions correct. So let's look.
The thing is, I'm gonna bet that all of the quantitative stuff that you could glean
So I've
from
taken the
such
3D
an
skeleton.
activity here, of like doing the whole morph thing, all of that effort was spent to make this figure for this video, not to actually do a study of that. Is that a
Yeah, of course
method?
not. No, of course not. Like, because again, they're doing all of this to dispute a movie.
Yeah, and this is a great, like, okay, what they just did there, like, that probably took some doing to get right. And it could be informative as, like, a didactical tool for discussing this topic. But
they don't care. And they're just
AIG
gonna lie about it. Yeah.
is a bag of dicks.
They're exactly.
So, oh, I muted them.
Get the proportions correct. So let's look at 4 big things that made me think that Velociraptor might be a bird. As we researched this,
By the way, I was not expecting that.
Plot twist.
Were you guys expecting? That
No.
is the thing that he was arguing. When we were arguing about what is the antecedent of this argument,
Velociraptor for birds.
that's the point.
And
He
so,
did.
I
Did
know
he say that and we missed it?
No, I don't think so. I know AIG's thing is anything with feathers is bird. Feather is bird.
Okay.
But I thought he also was like no evidence of feather. So I guess we'll see. Let's see this. I'm now I want to see where this goes. Now I'm curious. I thought this was just a run-of-the-mill AIG nonsense. This is like plot twist nonsense.
Okay, real
We
quick
found something-
though. ONB magnochondria are the
I'm going to applaud. I'm going to applaud the. Hey, you're also getting called out here. You got to applaud it too.
In the Orson Welles. There you go.
Oh God.
I'm going to throw this
They
down the
were
memory
fighting-
hole.
They were fighting to get on the ark. That you know what? That deserves
Fair enough.
applause.
Also, can we appreciate that? Can we just appreciate that?
Say that again. You got over.
The avatar, the icon for the user was part of the joke.
You got
Oh, I didn't even know.
God damn it! Why are you like this?
Wow. I kind of want to give him a trophy. God damn.
I love it. I love it. So that is
every
that
part
is
of it.
taking it. Yeah, that is dedication to the trolling, and I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that is. And I get money for it. Chef's kiss. Mwah.
Yeah, which she doesn't share because reparations. Okay, never mind.
thing profound. Birds have wings.
I loved this edit. Sorry that we cut off the
Yeah, no, we
intro
gotta
to
see this
that.
one. Let it play.
This one was good.
All right,
That
let's see
made
this.
me think that Velociraptor sure we get the proportions correct. So let's look at 4 big things that made me think that Velociraptor might be a bird. As we researched this, we found something profound. Birds have wings.
I appreciated that.
Just say, I'm sorry, man, but that was funny.
I didn't see that before because I had this, I think, like on the side when I was driving, maybe, or something.
No, I did. No, I remember seeing this, and it was yeah. Let's not play that X-Files song for too long, though. I mean, over again. Just saying. But really
If
quick,
Velociraptor was a bird,
Mark Reed, like, holy shit, dude.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
I mean that this is a new high for us. Well, there was that one time when what's his name was giving us a bunch of money, and it was like drunk. What do you call it? Drunk.
Steve Walsh.
Yeah. What do you
Or
call that? Like
Steve.
drunk tipping? Which I never thought. I've never been a stripper, so I never thought I would get that. But Mark. Yeah, no, it was torture last night, but I mean, you didn't have to do that. God, I feel so bad. Again, I give my friends shit because that's how they know I love them. If I don't pay attention to you, like, then you should worry. But I love Mark Reed, friend of the show. Mark was just on here, is it a week or two ago? Helping us out. And, you know, I wouldn't have been there helping you out if I didn't love you. So thank you so much. And for 50 Aussie bucks, Mark says, I will never appear on MDD again. You were right. And I would be better off if I listened to your warnings. Also, AID is a bag of dicks. And I
Sure is.
I don't. So people argue with me about MDD, which is a Nazi bar. I'm going to stand on that.
It's a
But
Nazi bar.
yeah, I think that people who can tolerate Nazi bars need to go in them because somebody has to talk to them. Somebody has to give them because they live in an echo chamber, and it the only time they're going to hear reason is, and I just don't have. I can't do it. I was kicking Nazis out of and they were like, well, you know, why did you ban such and such? And I'm like, I don't negotiate with Nazis.
Yeah.
I need you to act right and shut the fuck up. It's just like, we're not, no. I just, it's nuts. But I think that, intolerance isn't going to get America out of its slump. It's really going to take education and an olive branch. But I think that, again, you've also got to preserve your sanity. You've got to do what you can where you can, and we're losing numbers. So when you can, for people who can bridge that, I think should. God, it's so delicate because it's abusive. It's really abusive, and it's asking a lot. And I'm not asking for most people to just talk to Andrew Wilson. I think no one should talk to Andrew Wilson. I think that you should talk to parents, children, cousins, siblings. I think those are the hearts and minds we should be trying to change, not. And again, you don't talk to Wilson to change Wilson's mind. He's got a vested interest. You're going for his dick sucking acolytes who won't hear anything valid unless they're following him out of their cave or whatever. But I don't know. I'm standing on that, but. And again, I'm not saying anyone should do one thing or another because, like I said, it's abusive talking to people who are just that far down the rabbit hole. It's it takes a toll on your sanity. But we're coming out of this for you. Hooligan for $2 says, weasels are not electric. They are magnetic. And wait, he's talking about your sparkling personality. What's the problem?
No plane traffic.
And he's gone.
The play button, though.
We'd expect to find evidence of wings. There has not been a Velociraptor found with fossil feathers, but there were other raptors like Genuine Long and...
Is that true? I have no idea if that's true. That's one of those things where like Dapper would know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not the right person to answer that one, but I'm going to Google it while we're sitting here.
Fair enough.
What was the claim? I'm sorry. I was just trying to...
The claim, to just reiterate it really quick, was that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
I don't think he said that. I don't think he said that.
That's my bad. Let me fix that.
Scientific American 2015, new fossil reveals Velociraptor sported feathers.
But do they have to look really hard at like tiny little nubs in the bones? And does that count? The answer to the second one is yes. I don't know about the first one.
There's a spectacular new dinosaur study. The new dinosaur is one of the closest cousins of Velociraptor. Okay, it's a cousin of Velociraptor. So maybe it's not actually Oh, that guy has feathers. Yeah, that dude has feathers.
Does it go to a different school as well?
It goes to in Canada, yeah. You wouldn't know. Yeah, you wouldn't know it.
Microraptor and others that have been found with feathers. And they have clear wing feathers and tail feathers, like we talked about before. Those feathers are arranged exactly like living birds. Same bone.
Exactly like living. Doesn't it depend on the bird? Because birds arrange their feathers, I'm sure, a little bit differently.
Oh, here we go. I got this. American Museum of Natural History, 2007. Velociraptor had feathers. That's the name of the article. Velociraptor had feathers. That's it. And it shows a picture of a Velociraptor. What bone is this? The forearm bone. So it's the ulna. I think it's the ulna. And it has 6 quill knobs on the ulna.
See, it is the bone knobs. Okay. Yeah. Well, don't be such a knob or a boner.
Or a bag of dicks.
It's too late for them.
Bone attachments, fan shape, overlap, symmetry. When God designs something, he designs a fully functional system. Birds have soft tissue in their wings called patagia. It's a complex system of muscles, blood vessels, tendons, ligaments, and nerves that automatically fold the feathers when the bird folds its wing. The feathers, soft tissue, and bones all work.
Does it do it for all of the feathers equally in the same exact way?
Just assuming that the way they exist now had to be the way they exist in the past. Which nobody thinks that.
Because they don't change.
Because they don't change.
Also, to be clear, if it's good enough to survive, that's kind of like what qualifies as a fully functioning organ.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to do all of the full functions that a, much later iteration of it after the evolutionary process would do.
Yeah,
right.
The advanced version would do. Yeah.
And for $5, Jester says a sticker of a trophy of 7 numbered Van de Graaff generators floating over an electromagnet as Nee summons.
Hold on, what the hell?
Magnet weasel.
I have to see this sticker. Is this a real sticker, or did he just like make up? No, he just made up the sticker. Okay, like if we go to the tab and look at the fan funding, it just is, because you know how when it's a sticker, it shows up in EVMux as the description of the sticker.
You put the thing in the window. The play button, though.
I did.
You'd expect to find
because he wants to see if a sticker
shows up. Yeah.
I wanted to see the sticker, and the problem is that there's no.
Well, but now we have Streamception.
Oh, sorry. Did I have I had? So the problem is I muted my tab, which we were discussing earlier, but I didn't mute the video.
Put the video back on though. God.
Yes.
Oh, we're professional streamers, folks.
No, we're not. Don't lie.
And we find evidence of this on some of these raptors. But we haven't found feathers on Velociraptor. If Velociraptor had wings, we should be able to tell from the bones, right? If you hold your arm straight up and try to...
Yeah, and we can. There's an article that we recently learned about. The title
No, but
is
did you hear what he said? If velociraptors had wings, we should be able to tell from the bones. Dude,
they didn't have wings.
he didn't have.
per
Nobody says
se.
they have wings. I just fucking.
I bet you
AIG.
can find some people that say they have wings. People say a lot of stupid shit. It sounds like something I would do.
Bend your wrists to the side. I can't get mine past about 45 degrees, but a bird has a special swivel wrist where it can fold its wing all the way up against its forearm. We would expect to find that.
That wasn't going to the side though.
The
Hold
bird
on.
has a special
That's vertical. That's like doing this, okay? Like I can do this, even though I also can't do the 45.
swivel
I hate
wrist
you.
where it can fold its wing all the way up against its forearm. We would expect to find that same swivel wrist in these fossils if these raptors are birds. Birds have that special swivel wrist. It lets them open and close their.
This is the most technical
But
part of the
other
thing.
way. He's just reversing the directionality of what's ancestral and what's derived here. Like,
I have no idea what you're talking about. Please explain
he's
that in more
saying that
detail.
he's saying that velociraptors have the swivel wrist because birds have the swivel wrist. But because it's the other way, it's that the ancestral form had the swivel wrist that was the common ancestor of both, right? He has the directionality wrong. Like, I don't know.
but-
Like, why?
What? He thinks that a bird.
This is dumb.
I'm so
He
confused.
thinks the velociraptors evolved from birds.
He thinks it is a bird specifically.
It is a bird, right? Yeah.
Okay, so we're all in agreement that it's a bird. Oh, but he's saying that.
No,
There's
velociraptors
always
are not
been
birds.
birds. Always
No,
been birds.
Velociraptor actually is not a bird. It's
No, I get that, but I'm talking about him.
under the hypothetical. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck he's talking about. So we're saying that a velociraptor is the bird kind. Is that what you're saying?
That's what they're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, birds are probably more than one kind according to AIG, but like
sure.
whatever.
It's a little bit unclear. Like it's actually more unclear with regards to birds than it is to every other kind.
Right, yeah.
Are birds on that list?
Yeah. Stay with me. We're talking about Velociraptor specifically being in the bird kind, not only one type of bird kind, being
Just
the bird kind,
or a bird.
in the bird kind.
He's saying Velociraptor equals bird. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be clear,
Exactly. And that's where it gets a little bit unclear, because if you look a few verses later in the story, it refers to multiple kinds of birds for the cleanliness part, where you need 7 pairs instead of just 2 pairs. So at first it describes birds as being like a bird kind, and then later it describes like sub kinds of birds, which under the fundamental like thing that makes a kind, which is that it's an immutable created thing.
Kip
it,
Davis,
it doesn't make any
Kip in here to
sense.
help us. Is they use the same words for it though? Like we need someone who knows these things. We need a linguist. Get Dapper in here.
Yeah.
Does anybody know a linguist that might be awake?
Yeah.
Their wing. There's a special bone called a semilunate carpal that enables. Dinosaur wrists don't have this, as you can see on the Allosaurus.
Do they not? I feel like one of these like turns into the semilunate carpal.
I don't care. Because this argument is backwards and it doesn't matter. Like
Fair.
Is very consistent across birds and raptors, and consistently absent across non-avian dinosaurs.
There's
This wrist
a lot
structure
of
is so
talk
different
about
that
this.
Evolutionists can't explain how one evolved
oh
into
man,
the
we're
other.
gonna have to fast forward then because none of this matters because he's just saying it
Fair
has a
enough.
similar-
We can do it.
He's
Well,
doing the
what's-
thing that
what's
AIG
this-
complains
what's the
about
next
in
most
context.
The next most watch was this argument, which is very much on the same
Special thing.
topic. Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
that's right.
Why did
If
you
you hold
do
your arm
that?
straight
No,
up and try to bend
that's
your
wrong.
wrists to the side,
Yeah, do that.
special reinforced shoulder. And there's another special thing about the shoulder of a wing. A bird's shoulder joint is flexible enough
The shrug discussion. That's the next
Alright,
point.
let's see
to
the
flap the
shoulder.
wing. You can see the front view of a modern bird here, a European starling. The glenoid is the pocket that arm bone sits in. It's located high and points sideways, that wing a full range of motion. But a dinosaur shoulder joint is completely different. It's
Completely different. I need to see them side by side, bro. That's not how you
I know this is
communicate these
not-
ideas.
Well, I think
Like
that,
Fast.
I can do that,
and
and then oh well, there we go. See,
Yeah.
there we go. I had to.
it looks
it's
just like a
yeah,
bird.
here we go.
So, European starling, Microraptor, those look kind of the same, mostly because the blue is in the same place. But then, oh, you didn't put the blue there.
Yeah.
Also, the opening is in a different place, so that is a difference.
And Velociraptor has the same exact thing. Note the stark contrast between the raptor shoulder and the Allosaurus. The structure is so different, the evolutionists have no mechanism that could cause change like this. The third
I feel like raptors are more closely related to modern birds than they would be to
Yeah, that's correct.
Allosaurus. Like,
A modern bird.
is Allosaurus a tyrannosaurid?
It's a theropod, yeah, but it's not the next thing down.
Okay, because
I don't know the groups.
I think all of these are still theropods. Like,
Yeah,
none of these are like sauropods, which would be
right. The big four-legged things.
here, a European
Yeah.
starter. The glenoid is the pocket that arm bone sits in. It's located high and points down with a much smaller range of motion. Exact thing. Note the stark contrast between the raptor shoulder and the Allosaurus. The structure is so different, the evolutionists have no mechanism that could cause change like this. The third bird.
What?
Evolutionists have no mechanism that could cause a change in the bone
Change the
position.
proportion of bones and the orientation of bones? What is this dude smoking? And
Yeah,
can
no,
I-
there's never been evolution
that's just-
has
What?
Thank you.
It's
know how-
bones. It's just chains of bones.
You know how if you have like some fish that like live on the bottom of the ocean and have both their
Right.
eyes on the same side
that's
of their
wild.
head because
Yeah.
they're still bilateral.
Right.
Why are there no examples of a fish that's like currently in between evolving into that configuration where the eye is at some weird awkward spot, but it's like sort of in progress? Why does that not exist? Oh wait, it does.
I mean, this is...
Yeah, hold on.
We can explain how
Go on.
bones change shape. We have genes that determine what bones do during development, and we can overexpress or underexpress the genes, and you get different skeletal morphology based on the gene expression patterns. I don't know what the critique is here. I genuinely don't know what point they're trying to make, because you can't get from point A to point B in evolution. We know what genes do these things. They're like Hox genes and other developmental regulatory genes that change the proportions of bones and the orientations. I don't know. I would think someone at AIG knows that.
Okay, yes, but would they tell that?
Probably not. Probably wouldn't want their people knowing that we understand generally how these things work.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Allosaurus. The structure is so different, the evolutionists have no mechanism that could cause change like this.
Okay.
Are you familiar with what evolution is?
I am. If you're asking me, yes. I'm quite familiar with it, yes.
So name 10 mechanisms. It depends on
I
how
can
you
name,
specified you want to do.
well, 10 is a lot. I don't know if there are 10 that
10,
don't
10 is a lot.
fall in
It depends on how specified, right? Because
Well,
you can always go more
right.
specific.
Like how many mechanisms of recombination do you want? Right, right. But you know,
Yes.
you get your mutation, selection, drift, gene flow / recombination, or you could put recombination under non-random mating, but some forms of non-random mating end up in, it gets like inbreeding and genetic drift are sometimes the same thing. You have all different forms of recombination. You've got homologous recombination, you've got non-homologous recombination, you've got transformation and transduction and conjugation, all these different things. And the point is, you have one DNA sequence expressed in one pattern, and then at a later time, you have a different sequence or a different expression pattern of the same sequence. Or you have one gene that's a little different, so it regulates a different region a new way, and now that gene that says elongate does it for less time. Or the gene that says fold in does it for more time, so you get a deeper indentation where that other structure sits, right? Which leads to less range of motion. Or it's expressed for less time, and it's a shallower indentation. You get more range of motion. Like, it's a lot of these developmental regulatory genes are very basic commands like cut or fold or extend or go away. And the pattern of those basic commands gets you your very complicated structures. Like arms are a really good example, where it's a combination of extend and branch. That's why they're long, extending from the body, and you have one bone, and then two bones, and then a bunch of bones, and eventually you have, 5 phalanges, right? It's an extend and a branch command happening at the same time. And stuff like this, I'm not an expert in this specific thing, but there's probably some kind of extend and some kind of fold or indent command happening that overlap with each other to get the different morphologies of the one bone sitting inside the other one, right? And you have a more long-term expression of fold in, and you get that deeper cuff with less range of motion, right? You have less of that, shallower, and you get more range of motion. This is just me off the top of my head based on what I know some of these genes do, right? Like, we can explain this.
And but if it doesn't function and you get a crocoduck, then why does that thing that obviously won't live, why does it not live and pass on its genes?
Because magnets are fake.
Magnets are fake. Thank you for saying that. You messed up.
Damn it. Allosaurus. The structure is so different. Evolutionists have no mechanism that
I've been doing this for a while.
could cause changes like this. The third bird characteristic. Birds have pubic bones in their hip that point backwards. Dinosaurs, on the other hand, have pubic bones that face forward. What do raptors
Who
have?
cares? Who cares? Oh my goodness. The orientation of this bone is different, therefore they can't share a common ancestor? No. Wrong.
That's like literally the fact that we have to go all the way down to the orientation of this bone. The rest of the skeleton screams common ancestry.
This is a different way. Yeah, right.
The reason this is a diagnostic example, assuming it is, which, who knows if they're right or not. But assuming it is, it's diagnostic because you're you have this other bone, you have all of this other stuff.
It's all the skull holes and the protrusions from the femur, and all the other stuff is the same. So this one faces this way and this one faces that way. That's the thing that can't evolve? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is bad by AIG standards. This is dumb. This is really dumb.
That says a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I can't believe you subjected me to this. How dare you two?
You're so welcome.
Raptors, Archaeopteryx, are just like all these other extinct birds. They have rear-facing pubic bones. The fourth characteristic, let's talk about the tail.
They're all... Man, that's such a... I feel like that's probably a statement that is true of the entire clade, and probably true of the entire clade that contains the clade that contains the clade. So...
Right away, you can see how thin the tail is. It's totally different from the long, thick, flexible tails that we see in dinosaurs.
For the record, now he's doing it. For the record, I can't see exactly how thin it is because you haven't included a scale bar here.
Yeah, that would help.
But also the credit that we gave you earlier for not appealing to the difference between these and sauropods, I here revoke. Because that's a fucking sauropod.
That's a sauropod right there. Yep.
Like Allosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, and even the smaller ones like Compsognathus.
Although I guess it wasn't him, it was the editor. So some of the credit restored, but still.
The tail is very similar to Microraptor's tail, and also very similar to what we see in our.
Now this is like the most classic Archaeopteryx.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep, with the neck.
Man, I didn't even remember that its feathers were so obvious.
Oh yeah.
I recognize it based on the way it's organized and everything.
Apparently, it's not obvious if you're a creationist.
Well, all the ribs are broken, so it Therefore, God.
I don't.
Archaeopteryx.
I don't know. I mean, I really love things like this, where we get these glimpses into the past. I think science is so fucking cool, and I don't understand. Seriously, even as a practicing Catholic, it was shown to us this is how God did it, and
right, yeah,
still haven't taken that awe out of it. This is real. This really happened.
The Catholic Church is not my favorite institution on the planet.
Same.
Fucking remotely.
Same.
But their approach to most of the physical sciences is way
Leaps and bounds over creationism.
Okay. All things
most of
considered.
them. The word most is doing work there. Yeah, because
I'm just okay. Yeah, just saying this is cool. I'm sorry.
Also, let's just appreciate. Here's the thing: that reaction is pretty much like what all scientists think when we see something like that.
It's,
That's our
yes,
first reaction.
because it's so
Not-
fucking cool. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Somebody found a rock that shows the shit. This is a rock some guy found. You can find a rock like this, okay? Like,
I have
it's
one.
like-
I have one. This sits on my desk. This is a fossil I found. This is
Oh my
72
God.
million years old.
Oh wait
This
a
is
minute.
I collected
Oh,
it
no,
from a place. Yeah, this is
All right. I guess I'll let you back on here.
okay.
But you
This
did
is
that
72
accidentally,
million
but
years old. It's a
Holy
little bivalve fossil. They're extinct now. I have a
oh,
couple.
that's
have a
like
couple
that's
of
not
them.
just a bivalve. That's like the like stuff that it was chewing on.
It's a no. It's like it's a weird. I can't.
Oh, it's just a really weird, like very high because it's very
it's a
thin.
C
But then,
shape. Yeah, it's weird. And that is a 72 million year old shell. And I just have a couple of the. I collected these from a state park not far from where I live. And
do you have
Yeah,
images of them because your resolution is low enough that we get a sense of what you're showing?
yeah, I can't.
But-
I gotta see if I can find the name for you. I'll look for it while we're
Okay.
ourselves
but-
answers and gems.
I don't know. Like for me, it's just like there's so many animals that we never get to see again, right? And this is
Yeah. I was talking with my mom about this the other day. She was a biologist major, and like all of the new things that we've learned about the various family trees, which because I watch a lot of like Dapper Dino and Dr. Dan, I like know a lot more about, you know, so and Erica. I know a lot more about some of the stuff than like she hadn't heard about some of the advancements. She was like, wow, that is so cool. Like we have all these new different connections, and like the entire idea of cladistics is like new enough that she wasn't taught using that paradigm as much. Like I think it was newer. So
I put it in the private chat and the YouTube chat. It's Garostrea.
Okay.
It's a extinct bivalve.
interesting.
I actually have one. I don't keep it on my desk, but I actually have one where I found the two halves of the shell in articulation with each other, so it has both halves intact.
Oh wait,
together.
can you show it again? Because your resolution is actually a little bit better now.
There you go. Check that out. Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay.
Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, that's
yeah, that's way better.
Yeah.
that's what it looks like. But anyway, I put the name in the chat, so if anybody wants to Google it, you can check it out. That's what it is. It's really cool. And
All right, so
my point in saying that how we think it's cool is like if it was actually a problem, our reaction would not be that's awesome. Our reaction would be oh shit, right? But everyone sees these things and goes that's awesome because it's not a problem.
yeah.
It's all good.
No, yeah, and I know that you're losing steam and you're about ready to go. I really appreciate you for staying up with
But
us.
let's keep going. Let's do a little
Are you
bit.
sure?
We don't have to stop. Let's do a little bit
Okay.
more. Let's just
No, I could.
Sure.
Yeah, I could definitely go longer, but I don't. If you're
We're gonna get to a point about here-ish
Okay.
where he converts into the illustration portion of the stream, which I'm going to have meta comments about.
all right,
So-
all right,
let's
go
hit
there.
that.
It's also
there's a
common
bump
in other birds,
view, like there's a most viewed point. Let's hit that most viewed point if that's worth it before we
There's
get
one
there.
there, yeah.
like there. No, the one
We
like
can
kind of
also
in the middle.
That-
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get to there. Between here and there's a lot of interesting stuff, I think, though.
And
All right,
Jonas,
let's
Okay,
get to
let's
where
do
you
it.
they all have
start.
this unfused
Where do you? I
pygostyle
mean, because
anatomy. It's
tap, because that's like 5 minutes.
All right.
That's a
That'll
lot of
take
stuff.
an
Is
hour.
there like before?
That'll
we-
take an hour.
those bones are called
Yeah,
How
that's what
about
I'm
here?
saying. Okay.
we'll get past this argument and let him
you go.
like go from here.
Well, where you
Preserved
said there was a
Velociraptor.
lot
Yeah.
of interesting stuff. Like, I just want to cover that part because
I kind of meant the whole thing, but now
All of
that I
it?
look
Oh.
about it, it's spread over 5 minutes. I guess so here he's talking about this thing and then this other, and look at how
Oh,
angry
he
this
said the
dinosaur
number
is.
of vertebrae? Dude, I don't want to hear number of vertebrae is supposed to be a thing. Man, fucking AIG. So incompetent. At least come up with good bad arguments. That's all I ask.
See, yeah, 26.
I don't care.
All right. Well,
It just
I
Oh, we don't have some ancestry.
how
there
many
more
vertebrae do these dinosaurs have?
Probably I don't know.
I'd assume the same.
I don't think so. Penguins have very short tails, so
I don't know.
They
I
probably
think
have a bunch of fusions. And
I mean, I
that's
thought we were
not a
going to
hard
play the
thing
video,
yes,
though.
but
Play the video.
Dinos are hip walkers. Their leg swings from the hip. Birds are knee walkers, and their leg swings from the knee. And that is unique to birds. And evolutionists have no mechanism that could cause dinosaur hips to completely re-engineer themselves to a different structure and a different style of.
So it is impossible for evolution to result in a different form and function of that's not what
Yeah,
evolution is.
ankles-
Strict cloning.
Yeah, my ankles say otherwise, dude. They're not, because it used to be a wrist. Like, I don't know. We've
You know
got
what we're
lizards
gonna
that
need to
evolving
be able to figure that
placentas.
out?
We literally, everybody has to agree that lizards are evolving placentas, because unless creationists want to go species level creation, lizards are evolving placentas. We can find the populations of lizards that have placentas. It's not just one; it's a bunch of different ones that have
Oh, dude,
placentas.
that's what you
Really?
meant. I thought you meant that lizards as a whole are just
No.
evolved placentas.
No, there's
Sorry.
individual lineages of lizards that are evolved that have placentas, and
that
unless
didn't
one
have
of
them. Yeah.
but but it's not like one group of 50 lizard species has placentas and none of the rest do. It's like random lineages all scattered in
So
various
they're
clades of lizards.
separately evolved in
Right.
placenta.
So
Their evolution is converging upon a
yeah,
particular.
so within multiple kinds of lizards, you have placentas in some species and not others, right? Usually it's
but guys, they're all still lizards.
well, that's literally a diagnostic criteria for mammals, though. That's the joke. They're
Yeah,
not.
right. Yeah,
And
that's nuts.
creationists have to be on board with that unless they want to say that each individual species was separately created, right? And if you can involve a placenta, you can definitely change the orientation of a joint, okay? This is dumb.
I mean, you give me a firm enough grip and sign a waiver, I'll change the orientation of your joint.
Okay, we've got to prioritize the video.
Walking. So those are our big four: a swivel wrist, a shoulder for flapping, a hip structure, and a short, thin tail. There's a few other bird characteristics that we see in Velociraptor.
I just want to
The neck.
appreciate that for the hip structure in that list, when he said hip structure, they showed the pubic bone. I just want to appreciate that the picture did not match the words.
Okay.
Wait, he was talking about. Of course he was. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Hip structure, and a short, thin tail.
Didn't match.
There's a few other bird characteristics that we see in Velociraptor. The neck is surprisingly long and curved. In fact, in 2017, a new raptor found named Halskaraptor, and it had a very long, flexible neck. Birds use their long necks to preen their feathers with their beak. I think reconstructions of raptors often underestimate the neck length and make it far too thick and muscular.
Good for you.
Don't
Closely
care.
at the ribs of Velociraptor, you can see some little bones going across the ribs. Those bones are called uncinate processes, and they're found in birds, and they indicate avian breathing, which is very unique to birds.
Do they?
Okay.
These two
Again,
bones were
don't
found in
care,
Velociraptor.
because those are traits that are going to be ancestral to avians. They're going to be present in the earlier theropods. This is not.
Sure.
Well,
the
he's
argument
saying
you
that
can-
they're all they've always been that, right?
Yeah. They're all birds, and
Maybe-
they've always been birds.
Yeah.
As
So,
well.
what's his issue with this then?
Evolution bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I got.
They're very rarely preserved in different specimens. They're called sternal plates. They're very large in birds, and they provide attachment points for flight muscles. There's no keel preserved on Velociraptor, but it could have been cartilage, like in juvenile birds today. Watch what happens when we change
We
the
don't have
pose.
this feature, but it could have been there anyway. We're just going to assume it was. AIG,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, it could have been cartilage. Yeah.
it could have been.
That which is interesting because they don't let scientists get away with that.
No. And if it was rapid burial, cartilage should have been preserved, right? Because we have soft tissue, right? So why not cartilage?
Right.
Cartilage is a very tough connective tissue. It's not as tough as
Right.
bone, but it's up there, right? It's certainly, you know,
Tougher than feathers.
more robust than, feathers and blood vessels and stuff that
Right.
the soft tissue that they have. So, it could have been cartilage. Okay, but like you have no evidence of that. So,
Oh yeah, and here's the pseudoscience. It could have been, so therefore it was.
because it's
Wait,
convenient.
For $2, OMB Magnochondria are the powerhouse of the soul. Says flapping wings for flying, and I'm sure that was supposed to be said with a baby voice, but thank you.
Flapping wings for flying?
That was good.
That was good.
Nicely done.
Of Velociraptors' bones, based on what we just
Physics is hard, chat.
discussed. We make the knees more crouched, we move the arms to that wing position. These are the same bones, just posed differently. One pose makes it look like my favorite childhood dinosaur. The other pose makes it look like just a bird.
What?
Like, does it though?
I don't-
Does this look like just a bird?
So depending on how it poses, it could look like a totally different species.
Well, this is a theme with creators that I really appreciate, that they take all these changes and they say that doesn't count as evolution, that's just microevolution, but they end up lumping so much into there that I don't need
Yeah.
macroevolution. If I can just like change it all willy-nilly within the bounds of microevolution, okay.
No. If microevolution is what they say it is, then macroevolution is entirely unnecessary.
Yeah, right, because you could do like placentas
Because-
and multicellularity and all kinds of nonsense with microevolution.
You can
Great, that's awesome.
okay, so let me put it this way. If a caterpillar can go to a butterfly, right?
Oh, you're doing the Jensen thing and you don't even realize it. You know the Jensen thing?
I realize exactly
okay,
what I'm doing. that's what Jensen says. He said if a caterpillar can go to a butterfly in one lifetime, then of course in 4,400 years you can get. I don't know the end of the argument.
It's
quote,
it's
but-
a frog. If a frog can go from a zygote to an adult frog in 2 years, then you can go from the cat kind to all the living cat species.
I thought his example literally was the caterpillar to butterfly argument.
it's
That's why I
frog.
said it.
Yeah.
It was
It's actually-
the tadpole to frog.
that- In a
Okay.
paper, you know who co-authored the paper? I'm going to shatter this man's esteem in your eyes. You know who co-authored that paper with Jensen that had the development equals evolution thing? Jason Lyle. Yeah.
What the
Jason
fuck is
Lyle
he
was
doing
co-authored
on a
on that.
paper about that topic?
Yeah, I actually got
already
to ask
shatters
him
my-
about that. I actually got to ask Lyle about that one time. I was like, "Look, I know you're a physicist.
Why
so
are you on?
this might not be your thing, but you're a co-author, so I'm going to ask you about it."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what's
No,
with
if
this?
you're a co-author, yeah.
Like, what's with this figure? Like, we all know that evolution and development are different. Like, what's going on here? And his answer was, "I just did the math. You're going to have to ask Jensen about that."
I can't
Yeah.
believe you got to talk to him. And
It was on some call-in show. He was on like did a
Jason
thing. and
Lyle would probably answer my email if I sent him one.
Lyle seems like a chill dude. Jensen's an asshole. I can
This
tell you
is what
that
I'm.
firsthand.
Dude, Jensen, okay. So I really hope to have an argument with him one day, which I probably never will because we're not in the same field at all.
And they
But
keep him
if
under
he's
wraps.
going
They
to,
keep him,
if
like,
he's
from-
going to flog the Harvard degree, does he still work at Harvard? No. Guess where I work, motherfucker? It's not Harvard, but it's fancy. So
It's fancy. It's fancy.
Really. One pose makes it look like my favorite child.
For $5, misinterpretations on behalf of her, Anne Bragwin says mitochondria is the powerhouse of the Jezebels. I love it.
There you go.
I
Well
love
done.
it.
Well played. Well played. I'm saying, is
You
this the
win.
first time someone's done a mitochondria thing? Because that
Yes.
is good.
Actually, yeah.
That
Way
is
to go,
good.
ladies. Misinterpretations. I sorry I didn't find out about you until she had a what you call it, video with her and Dr. Kip, and they talked about. Sorry, it's getting close to midnight. I can tell.
It is getting late.
But yeah, we got to have her on the show since she let stay up late.
we're almost to the part where we can sign off, though.
Childhood dinosaur. The other pose makes it look like just a bird. Here's genuine long, which has wing feathers and these same bird-like skeletal features, and Velociraptor, about the size of a big turkey. Now you might say, what's the big deal? It's just a dinosaur with feathers. Well, the idea that dinosaurs had feathers came from the story of evolution.
Therefore bad. Ixnay on the evolution A.
Evolution bad. This whole video is just evolution bad. Therefore, I don't like
So
the
he
history
can't.
of Jurassic Park Velociraptors. Like, who cares? It's the I don't know.
So because he can't dispel feathers, then this must have always been a bird, and therefore science is wrong, and the Bible is right. Is that where we're going?
Evolution
Yeah.
bad. I'm not going to try to make more sense of it. I'm just going to say evolution bad.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here, because again, I don't
Why?
understand why they need to be here. There's just nothing in the Bible that says that.
Yeah, but look at Bishop Usher's dates.
Okay, God created creatures and their kinds. Fine. God created bacteria, and
Ken Ham said, Daddy Ham says so, therefore.
Daddy Ham.
yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry for introducing that phrase to people who hadn't heard it before.
Daddy Ham is.
Well, he was saying daddy. I think he was referring to God, but it was just
Daddy
weird.
Ham can be my daddy.
These raptors had more than just feathers. They had wings. God tells us in his word, the Bible, that winged birds
We have no evidence of like wings on Velociraptors. I'm
Velociraptors
pretty
didn't have
sure
wings. They didn't have wings.
they didn't have wings.
They didn't have wings.
They may have.
literally flapping birds, did not evolve from non-avian dinosaurs. God tells us that birds were created on day 5 of creation, the day before dinosaurs were created. Then God created dinosaurs after birds on day 6 of creation. He made them to reproduce after their kind. They weren't evolving into a different kind. Dogs give birth to dogs, cats give birth to cats. and so on.
Literally Ken Hovind.
Yup.
Literally Ken Hovind.
So as a Christian,
Indistinguishable.
I don't
Is that
Yeah.
stuff that he says?
Oh, yeah.
He does the dog. Yeah, do you think you're
Have you
related
ever
to a
seen that?
pine cone?
Have you ever seen a dog give birth to a non-dog?
Yeah, the
We
pine
don't-
cone one I've heard before, and I was just like,
Yeah.
you are.
Dogs
Just so
never
obvious.
give birth to non-dogs is probably the most common way that I hear that argument articulated.
Yeah.
Right? Like that specific example.
Okay.
That and this isn't exactly the same argument, but it's similar. If we evolved from monkeys, why are there still monkeys? Which is
I
different.
hate
That's even
that
worse.
argument.
That's if Maya.
I get it. I get it.
I don't have to
get it.
look for transitional forms between birds and dinosaurs, because I believe the Bible. I expect to find creatures designed by God to be complete and fully formed. And that's exactly what we find.
Well,
All
I mean,
creatures
it's
are
supposed to, though.
complete.
I mean, if you say you believe in microevolution, then that statement can't be true.
Well, get good, Maya.
Checkers, mate, atheists.
And those hypothetical lines connecting these different kinds of animals with evolution, those connecting lines are a man-made story. But the actual evidence we find doesn't show
Man's word
evolution
and
from one
God's
kind to another.
word.
Okay,
That's-
let's finish our reconstruction and create some artwork.
Let's not.
That's where this video goes. By the way, the rest of the video, and here's I feel like where we're gonna end. The rest of the video is him. I'm gonna mute him. And is him talking about creating artwork. It is him doing a thing that we didn't fully point out before, but it's elucidated here in what I've got highlighted.
Yeah, right.
He's talking about illustrations being evidence, and he proceeds to go on, and he has a whole conversation about whether or not they had beaks, which like in other contexts could be interesting, but
not from AIG.
not from ARG.
AIG.
He's talking about because the thing is like the illustrators that National Geographic hires I would imagine, are going to be given more up-to-date information, like, compared to like AIG or compared to Hollywood. Okay, there's still going to be some artistic license taken and all of that, but you're going to get better out of the people who do an illustration for National Geographic than you're going to get on average out of this guy, whose name, by the way, is Joel Leineweber.
Yeah, he has a name. And Mark says it's also a fallacy. He's affirming the consequent.
There you go.
Yep. But that's the rest of the video, and then when he's talking about the beak and the teeth, like whether or not he should add beak material to the end of the nose, or if he should add other material, they get to teeth, and the whole conversation, he's just like, oh, yeah, no, there are no birds today that have teeth, but we have fossil birds that have teeth. And I'm like, do you wonder why?
Oh, no, he does not wonder
the
why.
one thing about it, no. That's the answer to that question is literally no.
We don't have to think. We have God.
Yep.
Which is
all right.
Nice. Good for them.
I knew that was going to be
at least
bad.
one book.
I knew that was going to be bad, and that did not disappoint.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's my fault.
I love you a lot.
Liar.
Thank you so much for coming on, Dr. Dan. You've hit a lot of milestones. I think we were on your show a couple of months ago. You hit 10. Was it 10,000?
10,000. Yes.
You've come up since then.
I'm at 11 something now, which
Well deserved. Well deserved. You're doing great work over there.
So are you.
I try,
3 out of 10.
Thanks.
Be nice.
All right. He doesn't know what that means. So, Dr. Dan, could you please tell everybody, who are you, where are you, and what do you have coming up for the next week?
I'm an evolutionary biologist. My channel is Creation Myths, and I will tell you why creation science arguments are bullshit, top to bottom. And I will do that in varying degrees of detail and snark, depending on the situation. Coming up, so I've got some really good stuff coming up. I have a collaboration coming up with Erica Gutsa-Gibbon because we are going to stuff Rob Stadler in a locker.
That is so cool.
He released a video today, and an hour before he released his video, I put out a short video saying, here's a prediction of exactly what he's going to say. And I was dead on. I was spot on. I nailed it. And so I'm going to put out a video tomorrow spiking the football on my prediction. And then on Wednesday night of this coming week at 9 p.m. Eastern, my normal time, Erica and I, we're going to do a deep dive. And it's going to be fun. And then I also have a thing I'm going to look at for people who like the more mathy side of the phylogenetic stuff. I'm going to look at Winston Ewert's dependency graph stuff because, man, the assumptions in there, he just ignores the relevant data and then says his model explains the data better, but he ignores it. So we're going to do that at some point. And I also, in a couple weeks, we're going to do more of the Genesis Apologetics Conference. We're going to go through a talk by Randy Galuza. And this is a man who doesn't think natural selection exists, if you're wondering just how bad the creationists can get. What? Yeah, it's... Yeah, uh-huh.
How in the name of God is that...
Even Kent Hovind acknowledges natural selection.
Even Answers in Genesis is like, natural selection is real, guys. And this dude...
How can you ignore it? Like, that's insane.
He says it doesn't exist. So we're going to do his talk, his first talk of 2 from this conference. Eventually we're going to cover all of them. But, yeah.
Question. Does he say natural selection does not exist, but the idea that you're going to have certain, traits that are more likely to lead to reproduction, that does exist? What? He doesn't even know.
No, he has an alternative.
So he's not even saying natural selection doesn't exist, but then also being like, yes, obviously it does.
he has an alternative mechanism called continuous environmental tracking that is basically
Oh,
organisms
I've heard
detect
of this.
yeah,
I've heard of CET.
yeah, he's the CET guy. Yeah. So we're going to review his
Oh,
talk at a creation science conference.
Okay, I've
oh
never
boy.
heard of it.
It's
Which
so bad. It's so
It's not that organisms like change to adapt their surroundings. It's that the surroundings change to adapt to the organisms because that's what God
it's
wanted
that
to
the
do.
organisms detect the surroundings and then consciously adapt
Oh,
to them,
that's what you're right. That's even worse.
which was disproven by an experiment from 1942.
How?
It's a great experiment. If we, I mean, it's late,
Yeah,
but
I'm asking.
It's called the Luria Delta fluctuation test. And what they did is they looked at bacteria that were resistant to phage infection, virus infection, and if
Ah,
the resistance was due to exposure to the viruses, as in the bacteria were like responding affirmatively to the presence of the viruses, then across different trials, the frequency of resistance would be approximately equal. But if the resistance was due to pre-existing probabilistic mutations, then across different groups of bacteria, the frequency of resistance would vary greatly by like orders of magnitude. And that's what they found, showing that it was based on pre-existing variation, not responsive variation. And that's an experiment from
that's
1942 that disproves this idea that is like the thing that the Institute for Creation Research does. Because Randy Gluza is the president of ICR. So everyone's got to get on board with CET.
wait, did you I read so much shit. I don't even know where I saw this. But there was somebody proposing the opposite because there was they were studying malaria and like why so many people with sickle cell have are found in areas with malaria, and I think it was people who were infected were more likely to have children with sickle cell. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, because the sickle cell allele confers resistance to some forms of malaria. So if
Mhm.
you're a heterozygote, so if you have
yep.
one typical hemoglobin allele, one sickle cell allele, then your blood is mostly fine. You don't have sickle cell disease, but you're resistant to malaria. So that's actually the optimal genotype in malaria endemic areas.
Okay.
So, um,
Yeah.
and so that means you're saying people who survive malaria are more likely to have kids with sickle cell because they're more likely to be heterozygous for sickle cell. They carry the disease allele,
Okay, I
right?
see.
Whereas if
So,
you don't
okay.
have the disease
That's
allele,
not
you
okay, which
die.
is different than
It's
what
different.
he's saying is like the DNA knows and it will
Knows,
mutate
and you're going to
to
like, let's get the allele in response to the disease. Yeah, right.
okay.
It's
Okay,
different.
that makes more sense. Thank you.
Yeah, that's actual evolution. That is actual population genetics. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
that's
it
real.
okay. Um Tab, do you have anything coming up this week?
Do I ever?
Oh,
No.
no. Okay.
No, I don't. No,
Um
I've been really busy at work for like the last several months when I haven't been on vacation in Scotland and gotten my ribs broken in the process. But yeah,
okay. I may
I
or
fell off the
I'm
stairs.
looking at like 4 missed DMs, so I may or may not have something coming up this week. You guys will see me if I go live, I guess. Dr. Dan, thank you so much for coming on. We love having you here.
Thank you. I love being here. This is always so much fun and also extraordinarily painful, which I think is the right mix,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time going like, oh
Yeah.
God,
Oh yeah.
which is the appropriate mix. And as I've said before, I think your approach to pseudoscience is
Mhm.
exactly right. Point and laugh at them
Yeah.
and make
Yeah.
them look silly.
Yup.
But I
That
mean,
is
yeah, and that's
exactly right.
and I love it when I'm like when people I actually do love it when people say I hurt their brain and not because they love your pain, but because like this amount of pain exists and 100,000 people are watching it like, that's
Mhm,
right.
right. Yeah. Yup.
And I don't know, like if
Counter
even one of
program
them
that stuff.
comes over and
Absolutely.
sees this, then it's all been worth it. That in the community, I am man. I'm going to stand toes down on this. I have the best chat in the community.
They're awesome.
Yeah. All right. Thank you again for coming, Dr. Dan, and we'll see you guys in a week. Bye.
Bye.